All right, welcome back. I am Kenyon Hilly. I'm your life coach. We are at My Combo 360 Life Coaching Edition, and we have two amazing people here at the show that want to come and really just kind of discuss some things within their friendship, their relationship. So, ladies, please introduce yourself before we jump in.
My name is Brianna.
My name is Crystal or Lasia. Names.
All right. So, ladies, let's just jump into it. So, why are we here today?
So we are here because there are some things that I wanted to bring to the surface and just kind of talk about so we can get a better understanding of certain dynamics in our relationship, friendship, moving forward.
Okay.
Same. I had some concerns by we had an event. It was her event. I can even say we had an event. She had an event. She launched an incredible business, I Sell Snowballs, famous plug. Um, and during the process of it, some things were just not as friendly. And so, yeah, we got to figure out why.
Okay. I want to go first.
Yeah, as well, I'll go first.
Okay.
So like she said, we had an event and there were some things that happened that led up to the event that kind of rubbed me the wrong way. And I want to discuss that. And then I guess we could just like snowball into everything else that came after. So the situation was at hand that we discussed that we were going to drive out to LA to handle some business. One thing led to another, and time and situations kind of like interfered with us being able to go to LA on time when we wanted to. So when the situation unfolded, there was like a 4 hour period where she had to do something. She had to take care of her children. A-okay. And once it came around to her having the availability to go, the time to go, it was kind of later within the night, and she had made a statement saying that like she was tired and she didn't have like the mental capacity to go. And so that statement annoyed me. It put me in like an annoyed state, an irritated state. And I handled my business, did what I had to do in LA, came back, and I was like still kind of irritated, but I was like in the process of kind of just like shaking it off. And during that process, I felt like she kept poking the bear, like, well, are you okay? And I was like, yeah, like I'm cool. Well, no, like you're not okay because then it's like, well, no, I am. Like I'm just trying to like, like process, get through this and like let's just be done. Like I didn't want to talk about it. I didn't want to like communicate about it like in the moment. And I just don't think that she respected that. And then it made, in my opinion, like from my point of view, like it made the situation worse because in that moment I wasn't ready um, to talk about it. Like in that moment, I still wanted to decipher through my emotions and just like figure everything out. So when I was ready to talk about it, it was a clear mind. It was a this, that, done, and we don't have to deal with it anymore. So that was the first incident that rolled around. And I think just from there, it just kind of snowballed like into the next day. And even like into the next day, there were like certain things that like I wanted to do at my event. And from her perspective, it wasn't maybe like good enough, or it wasn't maybe like her vision or like her idea. And I felt like it was being like my thoughts and what I wanted was being like vetoed. Like her ideas and her things like overpowered like really what I wanted. And then I had to start asking myself, like, okay, well, whose event is it? Like, is it my event or is it your event? And then so I think it just kind of like went on from there. And then now we're here so we could discuss it.
Um, Trying to think of. So during the course of the day, I had to work. I was supposed to work two jobs on Friday, which is the day that she came in with all the event. She had all the Amazon deliveries sent to my house. I went through all the stuff to make sure that we had everything right for the event. Um, Took a video of everything. Hey, this is what we have. She was like, I have some other stuff. Cool. So she brought some stuff with her as she came. Next morning, the morning of Friday, I had to teach three classes. While I was at one of my classes, she calls me and tells me she's trying to figure out how to get her dad and her brother because they weren't able to check into their hotel. And so I'm like, okay, well, don't worry about it. Like, they can go to the house, they can kick it, and we'll figure it out. So in the meantime of one of my classes, I get a call from my son's school. He has pink eye. I gotta go get him. They're like, he got to get out right now. I'm like, crap, how am I gonna do this? So I go, I get him, drop him off at school, go to the airport, pick up her father and brother, and I drop them off, get some food for Zamir, get him set so he's not bothering my mom, and I go to my other class. Well, no, they were already at the house. Wait, what happened? What was the train of events? No, they got to the house. I didn't pick them up from the airport. They were at the house already. I came in and they wanted to go to Victoria Gardens. And they were like, yeah, we were waiting for a Brie or whatever, but we really want to go. We're just, sitting around basically like bored. I'm like, well, this is crazy. You're bored. Victoria Gardens right there. Don't worry about it. I'm gonna drop you guys off before my class. So I dropped them off at Victoria Gardens before my class. I called them on my way out of my class. They're like, "Yeah, we ready. We already ate. We done." So I'm like, "Cool, don't worry about it. I'll pick you guys up. I'll pick them up." So I picked them up, dropped them back off, go get her from the airport. Now I have to go get my son from school and take my son to the urgent care. So I'm in urgent care. I'm being chauffeur for parents. I'm doing that. After I go to urgent care, I go to Hobby Lobby. I check my phone and some of the stuff that I had ordered, the payments was messed up and it didn't come through. So I'm like, okay, let me go get the stuff that I didn't get. So I'm going to Hobby Lobby. I'm going to the 99-cent store. I'm getting all these different things, a bunch of stuff for the event to make sure that everything's done. So mind you, the whole time I'm like, we still got to go to LA. This is crazy, but we about to go. So I come home and my mom is like, well, do you have to go to LA? And I'm like, yeah, I do. Like, I don't want her to have to do that drive by herself. This is crazy. It's a lot going on. She's like, you have to start thinking about yourself, though. You look exhausted now. I'm like, yeah, mom, but I'm gonna go. And so we're still doing stuff. I'm waiting for her to come. I'm waiting for the food to cook for my kids, trying to get everything done. And by the time it was set and done, she's like, okay, what time do you want to leave? And I'm like, I think my mom was right. Because I'm looking and I'm like, I still got to do the balloon arch. I still have to do this. And I'm like, we're going to go to LA. We have to go two places that are far. By the time we get back, we still got stuff to do. We still got to set up and figure out what's going to wear and stuff. I'm like, I can't do this. So I'm like, you know what, Brie, maybe I shouldn't go. Maybe you should just go without me. Danny could ride with you, and then that way I can get the balloon arch and stuff done, and I'll still have energy when you get back to make sure that we're good. And she is her attitude. Okay, bet. All right, no, it's fine. I'm like, oh, like you're triggered. Immediate attitude. And I was like, well, I'll go with you. Like, if you want me to go with you, she's like, no, it's okay. I'm fine. I can do it by myself. I'm good. I'm like, oh, okay. Like, ah. So she leaves. I immediately just start crying because I'm like, she's supposed to be happy. Like, this isn't the energy that I wanted, but I'm just trying to make sure that I'm okay for me and my kids and making sure that I have enough energy. So I go upstairs to my mom and I'm like boo-hooing and I'm like, she's mad. This isn't the energy I wanted. I'm just tired. I've been working for us all day. I wasn't even supposed to be here. I was supposed to have a whole nother job that ended up getting canceled. I wasn't going to be here till 9 o'clock anyway, but I'm just trying to make sure that we have everything done and I have enough energy to get everything completed. And she's pissed. And she's like, well, relax. She's probably just thrown. She had a lot going on too. And I'm like, you're right. You're right. Let me just like reset her. She was like, take a shot of tequila, get some Red Bull or something. I don't like it when you get those Red Bulls, but do it. And I'm just like, okay. So I literally go in my room, I pray, I take a shot of tequila, I drink my Red Bull, and I start getting hype. Like, I'm like, you know what? I'm doing the balloons. Now I got the music on, the kids are starting. I'm like, I'm good. I'm in good energies now. It's fire. She comes in. My other friend had just called me. They're acting silly and stuff, and they're like, "We're over here. We gonna come help." I'm like, "I'm blowing up balloons." They're like, "We got air. We can help you blow up balloons. We on our way." And I'm like, "Shut up, you guys are so silly." She comes in. I'm like, "Hey, you're back. Good. We have so much stuff to do." She's still irritated. I'm like, "Oh, okay." She's still mad. All right, bet. So I start asking her questions, and everything is still super short and just abrasive. And I'm like, okay, she's still mad. We need to talk about this because this is dumb and we still have a lot to do. So yeah, she's right. I kept pressing the bear. Okay, but you have an attitude. Can we talk about this? What did I do? What is this? Like, can we get over this? Because we still have so much to discuss. Everything I talked about. Nope, it's fine. I got it. Nope, I got it. I was like, well, do you have this? Yep, got it. Do you have that? Yep. You should go upstairs. I don't want you to pass out. I'm like, okay. Condescending, cool, cool, cool. Like, this is what we're doing. Like, she's really just mad. So I'm just like, okay. I'm looking at the grand scheme of things. I'm like, I can't just go to bed. One, I'm wired now because I have a lot of stuff in my system. And two, I know that there's still a lot of stuff to do. I'm like, okay, well, let me just try to make this. Let me make sure this. I'm showing her stuff. She's looking at it like, that's fine. well, how about this? Is this fine? I have my own list. So, I mean, I already did it. You don't need it. And I'm like, okay, I'm just trying to fill in the blanks here. That's fine. But she was mad. And I know Bree. This is mad Bree. This is what we get. But I'm trying to like still fill in the blanks. So I wasn't trying to poke you. I was just trying to do the things that I know that needed to be done. Events are crazy. And if we don't plan and prepare, we talked for months about planning and preparing. And a lot of the planning and pairing, fell short. Things didn't get Amazon or whatever. Did you get this? Ah, shoot, we forgot. Did we get this? Oh, no. Okay, well, we could do this. We could switch that. The circle ring was important. No, da, 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 da. I thought we were just doing that for that. Oh, that's right. Okay, well, let's figure it out. How do we do it? So I'm used to things going wrong and figuring it out. Things go wrong, figure it out. Things go wrong when it's my fault with Bree. Oh, it's the worst. And I get this. I get attitude Bree. And then I'm left feeling disrespected. I'm feeling like not excited to help. I'm left feeling not wanting to be in this space because I feel like now everything is all of a sudden my fault. When I'm literally giving all of my energy and everything I have to make sure that this is successful. The couple of things that go wrong, it's just like, huh, you didn't even say thank you yesterday at all.
I did. You were in the building. You
You
and
did.
Tiana left.
I left to go get water.
Right. But so I
But you
think
didn't say thank you to me.
I did though. You just weren't there. And I didn't know you were there. I didn't know you and Tiana had left because again, nobody communicates things with me. So like my issue yesterday, so the issue was your statement. It wasn't that you had to take your kids to the hospital. It wasn't that you had to cook dinner. It wasn't any of those things because I know Crystal is a mother and Crystal has things to do. And I've never, ever been upset or mad at you for doing motherly duties. Like, never, not once in my life. So it wasn't that Crystal had mother things to do and things came up unexpectedly. That wasn't the issue. The issue was your statement that I don't have the capacity. Okay, but you knew you didn't have the capacity,
I did
right?
not.
Right. But I'm gonna tell you why I feel like you knew you had the capacity. You didn't have the capacity. You had been talking earlier in the day about you being tired and about you just wanting to go to bed, all of those things. So mentally, you already knew that, like, mentally, I'm already kind of drained. So for me, I felt like you saying, like, well, I just don't have the capacity and I'm tired, like, that's a slap in my face because who isn't tired? Like you were talking about, you were explaining how you had to do this and you had a jobs and you had to do this. And it's like, well, girl, you're not the only one who works. Like, I fly for a living, so I'm doing 3 and 4 legs in one day. I worked from the 27th all the way up until yesterday straight, minimal sleep. So I don't have the capacity and I'm tired. So I felt like in that moment, I would have rather you have just been like, okay, Bree, let's divide and conquer. Because I feel like that was really your goal.
That's what I
I said,
said. Yeah,
no,
that's
no,
what I
no, no, no. But
that's
that's
what I
the
was
thing.
saying.
But you didn't say that
So I
though.
said, let me go. I feel like it's better if I still stay here and handle these things and you just go so we can finish more.
But again, that
I
wasn't
said that.
your initial statement was I don't have the mental capacity and I'm tired.
Yeah.
And I said, okay, I said, I wish you would have told me that 4 hours ago.
Mhm.
I said, because I was waiting for you to be done. So in that 4 hour time frame, I could have went to LA and I could have came back. You know what I'm saying? So for me, I felt like I sat here for 4 hours and waited. Like
You
there was
did it. You were doing things in those 4 hours. That
but I didn't have to do that. Like I didn't have to go take my dad and them to go get food. They could have got food on their own. They're grown men. You know what I'm saying? So in that 4 hour span, I was waiting for you to be done. Cause I was like, where are you? Oh, I'm at the store. Okay, where are you now? Oh, I just got here. Okay, like where are you now? Oh, I'm cooking dinner. So all those times you're busy and you're doing stuff, and that's fine. I get it. You got to take care of your kids. That wasn't the issue. The issue was there was a 4 hour span where my time could have been utilized by going to LA. So after waiting 4 hours and then you turning around and saying, oh, now you have to go by yourself, it's raining. You just stated that the two places are far from each other. It
Mhm.
took me 45 minutes to an hour to get to one place, another hour to get to another, and then another hour and a half to get back.
Mhm.
So I had to do all of that by myself in the rain after waiting for 4 hours. So I felt like we could have came to this decision quicker than that.
Absolutely.
If your goal was to divide and conquer, I have no problem with dividing and conquer. My issue was with
Me not thinking about that sooner. Because that's what happened. I didn't know that I was gonna be that
or
exhausted.
you not taking into consideration, like, okay, I can go take a Red Bull and then I can be wired and then I can do all of those things. So you solved your issue of being tired by doing the Red Bull and taking your shot and doing all of those things and getting the things done, right? So you were still up the same
No,
amount.
because
You,
I didn't go to sleep until 3.
but
If I
you,
would have went with you, I would have went to sleep until 5, maybe even 6.
but again, my issue is not the fact that you
It's
had
not.
stuff to do or whatever. My issue is that
I didn't come up with that situation
you
sooner.
your reason behind it. I honestly, that's what it is. Your reason behind it of you being tired and you not having the mental capacity.
Brie, how
Because it's
many
like,
times have I told you in this last, I don't know, it's probably been 6 months, that when I get super tired, my body literally starts shaking, go like breaking down. My
right.
body starts shaking
So
and stuff. So listen, just for a second, because you're telling me all the things that you do and stuff, your body doesn't do what my body does. And so as soon as I realized, oh shoot, remember I told my mom mentioned it, and I was like, nah, mom, that's out. I'm going with her because I wanted to be there. You couldn't tell me I wasn't going with you. And so I sat down on those steps and I started realizing, I was like, ooh, maybe mommy right. It wasn't until that moment. It wasn't like I had this brilliant idea. I said the idea when it came to me. I'm like, there's no way. I want to be there for you. I can't. But I
right.
still think it's crazy that even, and I give you that, and I apologize for not thinking about it sooner, but you still treated me like I sabotaged you on purpose. When the most of the time when you're calling me, checking on me, I'm still doing different things for you.
But so my problem again is those were things that you assigned yourself to. Those are things that you said, Brie, I'm gonna do this for you. I'm gonna do this. So I expect you to
Yeah.
do that. So you can't use that as an excuse of busyness. Like, well, I was out doing things for you. Yes, you were,
And
but that's what you signed up for. You said, Brie, I will do your centerpieces. So that means if you have to go somewhere last minute to get your items, that's on you. Am I grateful? 100%. But again, you stated we've been planning for months.
no,
I put in the group chat, is there anything else that we need? Neither you or Chelsea said anything to the group chat.
Brie, do you know how
Not
many
one.
things I did that I didn't sign up for? I didn't sign up to do stuff for your dad and your brother. I didn't sign up
But
for you to drive to LA.
but
I didn't sign
listen,
up
but
for any
listen.
of those things. I just wanted to do those things.
Okay, so who you took it upon yourself to take them to Victoria Gardens? I didn't ask you,
I'm not saying that,
but you're just
Brie,
saying you didn't
but you
sign up
treat,
for
but
it.
I because I did it, but I
But you
thought,
did it though.
but
So then
exactly
why are you bringing it up if you did it out of the kindness of
because
your heart?
I'm telling you the what led to my exhaustion.
But you're using, again, that's my issue. I feel like you're using it as an excuse. Like, well, I did all of these things for
Because
you.
you would have done
I
the same thing,
didn't
and I
ask
did, but
you.
I did do it for you. There's a lot of things you didn't ask me for,
Right. So you
because that's
can't
what
throw that
friendship is.
you can't throw that back in my face.
I'm
Like
not
you
throwing it
did
in
more
your
of that because you're
face.
saying, well, I did all of these things for you throughout the day. Yes, you did.
None of
But I
this is
never.
me. None of this is me throwing this in your face. None of this is an excuse. I'm literally just stating what happened, the sequence of events. I'm sorry for not being able to fulfill everything over and beyond. There's still so much stuff that happened that I literally tried to do everything, fill in all the blanks. We didn't even have full conversations about exactly what was going on. Yes, you sent the list. No, I didn't go through it thoroughly. I did not.
Okay, but
This is
that's
still
what.
not my event. This
Right.
is your event.
Right. So okay. So
Nobody
let me
else
ask
in
you
your
this.
life is
So
doing
let me ask you
anything at the
this.
capacity.
Let
This
me
is what I
ask you
feel
this.
like.
But hold on. Let me ask you a
Go for
question.
it.
So you're right. This is my event, right?
Yes.
So did you not put the group chat together with me and Chelsea and say, hey, me and Chelsea are going to help you plan your event?
Yes.
Okay, so with that being said, if you and Chelsea agreed to help me plan an event, when I push stuff through and I say, hey guys, this is da 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 da, this is what I'm planning, can I get your input? And you don't say anything, when it comes to the last minute thing, you cannot be upset
I
that
would.
things no, but listen, you cannot be upset that you have to go to the store last minute for you, but essentially you are
I'm
because you're
not upset
saying,
at any of the
but you're
things. I'm
but
just
you're
telling you
saying
what led to me not being able to show up at the capacity that you wanted me to,
but
that
you're
you
but you're
expected me to.
saying it in the content of I did all of these things for you,
Yes.
so I have no reason to be upset, and that's not true.
I do feel like that's true, Bree, because
That's
at
not
the end of the
true.
day, because that's friendship, right? So it doesn't, you don't have
But it's
to
a
act
business though. So at the end of the
your
day,
business.
right, but you signed up for it. So
No,
if
I
you
didn't sign up for your business. I said I would help. I didn't say that I would do everything.
but
I said that
okay.
I would be there
So
for you
let me
as
ask you.
a
So
husband more than anybody.
let me ask you this. Did you or did you not say that you were going to do the centerpieces?
Yes, I said
Okay,
you said that you would help. I said I would help you
okay,
with the
time out.
centerpieces.
Okay, so
Help you with it.
okay, but you said so. Did I not put in the group message? Hey, for the centerpieces, is this thing okay? Da 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 da. This is what I order. Is this fine? And I sent pictures.
For the centerpieces?
Yes, I sent pictures and I said, this is what I want it to be like in the group message. I sent a whole PDF of pictures to the group chat for you and Chelsea. And I kept asking you guys, what are we doing about the centerpieces? Is this okay? Because I want to order. Okay.
I remember you asking for centerpieces. I don't
Okay.
remember with us actually coming up with a plan. I do remember 3 days ago you saying, you know what, you just handle it, you do whatever you want to do. And I said that.
Okay. So
Yes.
that's my point
Yes.
exactly. So you said, okay, I will do them.
Yes.
That means you took on that responsibility.
Yes.
Okay. So because you took on that responsibility, I expected you to
Yes,
go
and
in
I
store.
did.
Right.
I'm not saying that you don't
But
I
what I'm
think you're
saying
missing the
is
point.
you're using it as a you can't be mad because I went to the store and got these things for you,
No.
and you being upset is
No.
being not like I'm not appreciative of you going to the store and
No.
doing those things.
That's not what I'm saying at all.
That's how it's translating.
I'm
So
sorry that that's how
it's
it's translated
translating
because
over
that's
that
not what I'm
I
saying at all.
spent my whole day running around for you and you had the audacity to be mad because I didn't want to go to LA with you. That's how I'm receiving it.
Part of that is absolutely true, but I'm not using it as an excuse. I still don't feel like you should be mad at me for my body shutting down. Rather, I was doing things for you or not. I wasn't even supposed to be there, right? I was supposed to be at work. I had a bartending gig that got canceled because of the rain. So I wasn't even supposed to be home. So I'm not using that as an excuse to anything. I could have been, I don't know, at Disneyland with my kids. It doesn't matter. The point is, when it came time to go and be there for you, I didn't have it. And I'm sorry for that.
I would rather you have said, you know what? I'm just not feeling well. My body is tripping. Do you mind if we divide and conquer? Because you know, without a shadow of a doubt, I have always supported you resting and being healthy and being all of those things. But that's not what you said. So you're making it like I told her that I wasn't like my body was shaking and all of these things, and she just dipped off
To
like
be fair, Bree,
she was
you didn't
mad.
even let me finish talking.
Well,
I tried to explain it to you, and you left within 2 minutes of me saying, "You know what, sis? I think maybe I should stay because
but that's not what you said though.
I
So
said,
let's be real.
okay, I
That's
said
not
maybe you
how
should
you
go by yourself.
no, 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 that's not how it started off. I said, when are
What
we
time are we
leaving?
leaving?
You said,
Honestly, I think you should. I said
no,
Vanny can go with you.
no,
I
no,
said
no,
because I don't
no.
have the mental capacity to go
You
right now.
started off and you said, honestly,
Yes,
I don't have the mental capacity to go. I am tired. That's what you
right.
started your conversation at. So I'm
But you
telling you,
left,
time,
so we couldn't even talk
time out.
about
So
it.
I'm telling you, no, no, let's be honest. You said, I don't have the mental capacity. I'm tired. I said, okay, I wish you would have said something sooner because I would have went earlier. You said, yeah, but like I just didn't think about it, whatever, whatever. I said,
Yes,
okay, I'm putting on my shoes. You said, Danny can go with you. I said, it's cool. I don't need Danny to go with me. You said, okay, well, I feel like you're mad now. I said, it's cool. It's fine. I'm getting my stuff. I'm leaving. Never once in that
it
conversation.
wasn't a conversation, Bree. When you get up and you moving
But
and
you're
you
still
and I'm like,
talking though.
I'm trying to, but
So
if you're
so
not
in that,
listening, then I'm not thinking of all these beautiful words to say
but what
to
I'm
you. I'm
saying,
just trying to stop you from leaving. Let's talk about that.
but what I'm
You sure
saying
I'll go
though,
with you? You know what? Never mind. I'll go. Do you want me to go? You're like, no, it's fine. It's fine. Bree, I'll go. I'll kill it.
but
Forget
what
it.
I'm
I'll go.
saying
As soon
is,
as you started to realize, as soon as I saw that this was not a good plan, I'm like, I'll go. Forget it. I'll
so
whatever you
again,
need. And you still walked out the
right,
door.
100%. Because again, my issue is that right now you're making it seem like, oh, I was having my body was shutting down. I didn't have the mental capacity. I was
I'm thinking
shaking.
about the
No,
long
no, no,
game.
no. I'm talking about right now in this present moment. In this present moment, you just said my body was shutting
I said,
down.
no, I didn't say my body was shutting down. I said, you know what my body does. So my body, I started realizing if I keep going at this capacity,
So your
absolutely,
body's shutting down.
this is what's going to
That's
happen.
exactly what I said.
Yes,
So I'm saying you're making it seem like you presented the issue to me like, oh, my body is shutting down and I'm feeling da 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 da, and then I just blew up and
because
had it.
I
But hold
think
on, I'm still
saying my
talking.
mental
But
capacity is enough.
I let you speak. So let me finish. You're making it seem like right now in this moment that the issue as of to why you did not want to go was because your body was shutting down
Yes,
and you were feeling eerie.
yes.
Not one time in that conversation, because it was a conversation because there was back and forth dialogue. So not one time in the translation of the wording did you ever say, you know what? It's my body. I'm just feeling like XYZ. What you said is, I'm
My
tired.
mental
I'm
capacity,
not
I
done
thought that's
though.
what that's
I'm
saying.
not done though. You
Sorry.
said, I'm tired and I don't have the mental capacity. Mental capacity registers as me as your brain overload. I just can't handle that right now. I'm doing so many different
Yes,
things, brain overload.
yes.
I didn't have the mental capacity, brain overload, brain overload. I'm tired. I'm tired too. I've been flying since the 27th. I've been flying all day. I'm just as tired. So for you, for that to be the main thing that you lead it with, that's why I was
So
upset.
you just don't like
Because
the wording, but for me,
but hold
telling
on, I'm not
somebody I
done
don't have
though.
the mental
But I'm
capacity
not
and I'm
done though.
exhausted, that's what that means.
But I'm exactly. I don't have the mental capacity and I'm exhausted as well. That's different than saying my body was shutting down and I was starting to feel like I am gonna have, like an episode, or I'm gonna like I'm getting to the point of exhaustion to where I'm gonna start shaking and I'm gonna start, feeling like faint and weak. That's totally different in my brain.
To your
So
brain.
when you have a health condition, that if that's the leading cause,
But again,
100%.
you're aware, right?
But tired and mental capacity does not equal my body is shutting down. You say you're tired when you wake up in the morning. You say you don't have the mental capacity when you wake up in the morning. So again, that doesn't equal the same thing in my brain. So if you felt in that moment that your body physically could not handle it and you were going to have an episode, or you were going to be tired and headache, I would rather you have said that and said, "You know what, sis? I can't take it. My body just can't handle it. Like I can't handle it right now."
Well,
Because
that's what
if
I'm
I go,
saying.
but you didn't though. So
But
even though
me
you
saying
thought,
mental
that's not what
capacity
it
and
was.
exhaustion, that's to me, that's what I get that you're saying that that's not what that translates to, but that's exact. I said, sis, honestly, I don't think I could do this right now. I'm exhausted and mentally, like, I'm mentally exhausted and all those things that you're saying. I said, I don't remember verbatim, but I believe you because that sounds like me. To me, that statement is saying exactly what you're translating to. I would hope that by now you know that I would literally do anything for you.
It's not about what you
But
would
it
and
is
what you
because you're
wouldn't
mad
do.
at me for not
I wasn't, first of
going
all,
with
let's be
you.
clear. I was not mad. I was irritated. There's a difference. Being angry for you not coming and being irritated with your choice and your decision is two different
But
things.
irritated to the point where now you're being disrespectful for towards me. You're being
So what did what
dismissive
what did I
towards
do that
me.
was disrespectful?
The way you talk to me was disrespectful.
I Let's be clear, I didn't talk to you at all. So
Disrespectful.
you would ask me a question and I answered. So there was never a moment to where I never did not answer you.
You're
I never did not acknowledge you. There was never a point in time. You you feel like when you do something wrong, I have to react the way that you want me to react.
no.
And I'm going to tell you why. Because if I don't react that way, it's, well, all of a sudden you this and you don't have a right to be mad and you're not handling this situation right. You can't be mad for this long. Like, why are you still
No.
like, why are you, and then you start implementing your own thoughts and your own perspectives and what you would do in the situation by saying like, I wouldn't do that to you, or I wouldn't this, or I
Right.
wouldn't that. And the reality of the situation is you're not me and I'm not you. So
Yeah.
you cannot be mad at me for handling a situation differently than you would have handled
But
it.
you're mad at me for handling the
No,
situation
I'm not.
differently.
I'm not mad
You
at you.
are.
I was irritated.
Oh, you're irritated with me
With
about
your
it.
decision because I spent 4 hours to where I could have been doing stuff. Now not you, I have to drive myself out to LA at night in the rain past 10 o'clock.
Like I said, I would
I
go with
had to
you.
do that, right? But why would I want you to go with me after you literally just said, I'm
That I don't
exhausted,
have the
I'm this?
capacity to do it.
Right. So I said,
Exactly.
okay, girl, we'll go to sleep.
So why are you
I
mad?
was not mad.
Why
I
are you
was irritated.
irritated?
I was irritated because I wasted 4 hours waiting for you to get everything together so we could go. So in my mind, I could have been in LA and back at a decent time to where now I can get, I'm on a 2 hour sleep schedule difference. So 10 to you is 12 to me. So now I'm not pushing 2 o'clock in the morning mentally, physically, because after 4 hours of waiting, you decide, I can't do this. You're going to have to go by yourself. So, yes, I 100% was irritated because my time I don't feel was valued in that 4 hours in waiting because I could have gotten my car and I could have went on my own,
Mhm,
right? Because that was the original plan because you were not going to be here. I was not expecting you to be here. I was expecting to go after my eyelash. I was expecting to do all of those things.
mhm,
So when you said, hey, it's okay, cool, I can go, da 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 da, da, but we got to put a pause on it because I got to go pick up Zaza, da 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 da, da. Cool, no issues. I'm a chill. I chill for 4 hours,
mhm.
waited. I get back to the house and you're still momming it. Cool. Waiting some more, getting some stuff together. Hey, it's getting late. It's about to be 10 o'clock. Shouldn't we go? Oh, yeah, you could just go by yourself because I'm tired and I don't have the mental capacity. Tired? Mental capacity? I don't have either of those things.
I'm not.
You know what I'm saying? So for me, the irritation set in because it's like that's the excuse you chose, not excuse, but like that's the reason that you chose to leave with. Like I'm tired. Yeah, I'm tired too. You know what I'm saying? And because it's my event, I don't have a choice. I have to get up and go. I
Absolutely.
have to do that.
Absolutely.
I would have got up and gone sooner, and I wouldn't have waited around hours and hours and hours for us to go. I would have went on my own. You know what I'm saying? So yes, I was irritated. Yes, I have the right to be irritated. 100%. You can say that I don't
No,
have the
that's not
right,
what I'm saying at
but
all.
but I
I was
do.
shaking my head for another reason. What
But
I
I
was
do.
about to say is you have every right to be irritated. And I'm sorry that you're irritated. I'm not saying that you didn't have that right. What I also am saying is I don't think you understand that your irritation sucks all the life out of the world. All of it. You left me then when you came back with still things to accomplish, making me feel like I wasn't shit because of one decision that I made. That remind you, as soon as I saw you were irritated, I was like, forget it, I'll go. But you were already done. You didn't stay to have a conversation for me to really say those things. So you let me saying one sentence with for you not enough information change the directory of our whole 2 days. That's what I'm saying.
No, that's
For
not
me,
true.
that is true.
Because when I woke up the next morning, I was 100% fine.
My mom was like, "Are things better?" I was like, "She's still acting
But
irritated
that's your
because
doing.
that's the way you
But
suck
let
the
me ask you.
energy out."
I didn't see you in the morning. I walked into you. I woke up earlier than you were up.
Yeah, I
I
woke up at
walked in
7 and
and
I slept till 5.
I said, "Hey, I'm getting ready to go get my makeup done. What do we need?" Da 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 da. Blah 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 blah. I had full on conversations with you. I had no irritation in me.
But the way
Your perception, because I didn't talk to you, I didn't resolve the issue the way you wanted to the night before, led you to believe that I was still irritated.
I've been your
I
friend
came to
for
you.
a very long time. I
I'm
know the
but
way
I'm
you
also
speak to somebody
evolving
that
though.
is
So
full. I'm
that's not
just
a fair thing to say
it is
because in that
in the
moment,
sense of
I'm
I
not, I'm
know
gonna tell
what
you
it
why.
seems like when you're mad, bro.
I'm gonna tell you why though, because in that moment, I asked myself two things. Are you suppressing your emotions or are you managing your emotions? Because those are the things that I'm physically working on. Two things, because I know my emotions can get out of control. So I asked myself those two things the night before. Okay, Bree, when I'm driving, right? I'm clearing my head. I'm driving. Okay, Bree, were you suppressing your feelings in that moment, or were you managing them? I came to the terms that I was suppressing them. So I said, okay, you're suppressing them, figure it out. I'm driving on the way, I'm cool, da 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 da. I come in and it's like, hey, how are you? Da 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 da. Oh, like you're upset. Like, why are you upset? That's what you asked me. Why are you upset? Well, now I'm upset because I was doing fine. And I told you, no, girl. I said, no, girl, I'm fine. And I'm still sorting through
Why
my
did I ask you
emotions.
that?
Because when you don't get the answers you want, you continue to poke.
That's not why I
100%. You
asked
do
you
that
that.
all the time.
But that's not why I
So,
asked you.
but okay. And so let me ask you this.
I can tell you why I
So
asked you.
you asked me, and if I tell you I'm okay and I'm cool right now, respect that. I don't care.
But you're
I don't.
not.
But that's not for you to decide to push me to the limit to talk about it if I'm not ready. That's not your choice. That's my choice.
It was the lie that made me want to
But it's
keep
my
going.
choice though.
It is your
So
choice.
if I'm
And we
telling
didn't
you,
talk.
and if I'm telling, but you kept asking me though. You asked me four different times that night, and I told you when the first time you asked me, I'm good, like I'm solid. I'm still suffering through. I'm still coming
You didn't
down.
say
I'm still
anything.
because again, I told you I'm fine. I said I'm good, and mentally I said I'm
You know I'm
good,
your friend,
and
right?
I but also understand that if I'm in a place of working through things, I have to work through them
How
mentally.
do I know that if you don't tell me?
I told you I'm fine. So
Right,
then that
but
means leave the situation alone.
that's not
So
what that
when I'm
means to me.
ready, if I say I'm fine and I'm good, then what does that mean to you? So if you ask me, are you fine? And I said, yeah, I'm fine. After you
It
asked
means
me, time out, after you asked me if I was irritated, right? Because you asked me, you said, why are you mad? I said, no, I'm just irritated. You said, why are you irritated? What's wrong? She was like, you were like, I don't get it. Like, why are you irritated? I was like, it's fine. Like, I don't want to talk about it. Boom. That should have been the end of it. That should have been the end of it. Because after I said I don't want to talk about it, that should have been done. Conversation over. Move forward.
and moving forward, you say that, then that'll be it.
But you
But
continued to
I
ask me.
because
So
I'm can I
it kept
you said
going.
the whole talk thing, so I have something to say now. As a friend, if I see that you're pissed off and I see that I just want to solve the problem.
Boundaries. So
Sure.
if I set a boundary and I say I don't want
But
to
that
talk about it, I don't want to
and
talk
I
about
get
it.
that moving forward, but I'm just letting you know why I kept pushing. Bree, I'm looking at this biggest event. I see you pissed off at me. I'm like, we gotta solve this.
But
We can't go into
but
tomorrow.
we can't.
I get that we didn't clearly it didn't work, right? So we don't have to talk about what didn't happen, right? So clearly me trying to continue to talk about it was not the best solution. I'm just now telling you why I was pushing. Because at the end of the day, I had probably 10 moments where I was like, I'm literally about to just go upstairs and go to sleep. I am about to stop, but I this is not how I friend. I know that you're irritated. I know that, but I also know that things still need to get done. So yes, she's irritating me, but what could I do? How can I fill in the blanks? You shitted on me multiple times in multiple moments. It made me feel like I wasn't worth not a darn. And I continue to push. Even at the event, you're still talking to me abrasive. You're still doing things. And I'm like, how? I've literally done everything. Ain't nobody else getting up. You got a room full of family friends. Ain't nobody else getting up. Nobody. I'm like, somebody please help. Like, all right, bet. I'm gonna do it again. Even though she's talking to me crazy, I'm
But
gonna do it
okay, but see,
again. Even
define.
though she's not acknowledging me, I'm gonna do it
See,
again.
that's
Even
not
though she's
fair.
not saying thank you, I'm gonna do it.
No,
It's not
Crystal, that's
fair.
not fair because
It's not.
you know why it's not
Agreed.
fair? You know why it's not fair?
Agreed.
Because the night that I came in, I told you thank you. I
When?
said thank you the night that I came in. The
Wait,
night
but the
after I
whole
came,
day didn't feel like a thank you. It felt
but
like get the
Crystal,
hell out of my face. That's what
that's
it
your
felt like.
perception because
Because
you
that's
kept
what you
pushing.
made me
I
feel.
told you to leave me alone. I said I'm good. I'm okay. Leave the situation alone. I
You
even
have to
that
acknowledge
night
the fact that you know dang old well you're treating me crazy.
I
I
know
get that you're
I'm not,
irritated.
you know why I'm not going to acknowledge that? Because I did not say anything crazy to you. I did not do anything crazy to
That's
you. I
nuts.
did not do any
You
of
feel
that.
like everything that you did was just a okay.
I feel like there were moments where I could have maybe suppressed a little more where I could have been like, okay, you know what, like you're at like your emotion is at like a 10 and like I understand the situation and I understand this, let's kind of like bring it down a little bit, right? But to sit up here and say that I talked to you crazy,
You
talking
did.
to you crazy would be like, no, go get this, go get it. I never in my life have ever talked to you like that. I've
I didn't
never
say you
said
talk to me like that. I said you
but
talk to
not
me
but
crazy because
but
it's crazy
what
for
is
somebody
crazy?
that
But what is crazy
to
though?
me crazy when you love somebody and it's a friend is saying anything out of aggression
So what did
and
I say that
it
was
was very
aggressive?
go get it go I'm not doing that no da, 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 like very dismissive the
What
whole
did I?
time.
I'm not doing what? What did I say? I'm not doing
I don't remember
because
it.
I've
You
never
did
said
say
that.
no. I'm not doing that. I'll ask you. Hey, should we do? I'm not doing that. Can I do this? It's done already. Can I, what about this? Da, da, da. Like everything was so abrasive, very dismissive, very like I don't even need you here. That's how you treated me. And everything
So
you wouldn't even look me in my
so
eye.
I'm gonna tell you this. I feel like you feel
I feel the
that way
energy you put
because you were
out.
no, I feel like you were looking for validation in doing something that I feel like you should have done because you signed up for it. So you know when they say like you want cookies for things that you should have done, from my perspective,
Yes,
I feel like that's what you were doing.
yes,
But I expected you to do that because you signed
yeah.
up
But I
for it.
still want a cookie for it because I'm doing it for you.
I'm not gonna give you a cookie if you asked if you said I'm gonna take care of it.
That's crazy to me. So you
Like
don't say thank you for people that do things for
I told you thank
you.
you.
You did. You
I
said
did
thank you
though.
when I wasn't even in the room, which means you didn't say it.
So this is my thing. Again, if this is my event,
Yes,
right? So if you were quote unquote filling in the blanks and you
I'm
were doing this, you were
expecting
doing
some
this.
gratitude.
So why wouldn't you have said, hey, Brie, I'm going here, blah, 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 or I'm doing this, blah, 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 blah. I didn't get any of
Bree,
that.
you stopped talking to me, bro. So I'm not gonna keep
Crystal,
at this point. I'm just filling in the blanks.
Crystal, I called you on the way to the event. When I got my makeup done, I called to ask you, did you need anything? I called you to give you updates on where I was. So saying that I'm not talking to you is now that's
That's
crazy.
fair. That's fair.
That's crazy
That's fair.
because
I'm
I
not saying that you're
legit,
not talking to me. I'm saying that you're not talking to me nice to the point where I want to continue to have
you
conversations with
wanted
you.
me to be
I'm walking on
sunshines.
eggshells.
You wanted me to be sunshines and rainbows, and I
Yes,
cannot be sunshines and rainbows in a place to where things have now fallen. That sunshine and
I
rainbow
I
is out the door.
I think
Why?
it's
But let me tell you
unfair.
why. Let me tell you why. Because this is mine.
Yes,
So if things are not going according to plan, it falls back on me. It doesn't fall
yes,
back on Crystal.
yes.
So when things drop, like ring lights, we don't know where the ring light is. Okay, so now what do we have to do? Okay, so Crystal now has to come up with something. Da 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 da. Centerpieces had a full blown conversation. You decide I'm gonna go get succulents and I'm gonna go get these things at the last moment to do whatever because that's how your creativity works.
Yes.
Whatever the situation is, those are not my responsibilities. and they're not my responsibilities because you
You
said
just said
that
the
that's
ones, 'cause it
you
shouldn't
were
have been.
gonna no me failing is on me. It's my business. But if you say, hey, I'm gonna do XYZ, I'm expecting you to do XYZ. I don't care how it gets done. I'm expecting you to do
That's fair.
XYZ. So in that moment, I'm not gonna give you kudos for doing something that you said you were gonna do.
That's crazy to me.
No, I'm gonna tell you thank you,
That's
and
what I'm
I'm gonna
saying.
say whatever.
My point is there was no thank you. It was very much, yeah, that's your job.
I
But you
told
have
you
to
thank you
understand,
though.
you have to understand, I never heard a thank you, bro.
Right.
Uh, but 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 there's so many things that happened that was my responsibility, but there's also a bunch of things that I did that were not at
But
all.
but
That you did not
again,
ask me for, that
but
whatever, just filling in the blanks, just being a friend, just being there.
okay, so
But
then
I just want you to, because you're and yeah, business is a certain way. We already established this particular thing is not even my business. I just wanted to be there for you. But you made being there for you something that if I wasn't perfect, it was just a drop. I feel like it's unfair from my position because I played more games with you than anybody, right? So when I drop the ball more than anybody else in your life because I'm playing every game with you, all of them. What do you need? We're doing this together. We're having these conversations together. We're doing this again together. We're doing this business together. We're having this conversation about these friends together. We're having all these different things. We do a lot of stuff together. So when I drop the ball, I'm gonna drop the ball more than somebody over here that's your friend that only goes to your birthday parties or only does this. So I feel like I get the worst slack, even though I do most of the work. And I don't even want to say work because that sounds crazy when you're talking about friendship. I'm there for you more than anybody. You know that I will try. Is it fair that my brain, we all know that I'm not the most organized at all, and it drives you crazy. It drives me crazy. It drives everybody. So there's a lot of things that I'm working on personally, trying to make sure that I'm cool. But when I drop the ball, you make it seem like it's the worst thing in the world, and you treat me like one, it was expected, which doesn't feel good. There's no comfort in that. And just like, well, this is what you're supposed to do because it's not what I was supposed to do. It shouldn't be an expectation. These are things that I'm doing because I love you, not because I have to. I am not your husband. I am not your
right.
mama.
But when I say those are things that you are supposed to do, is because that's what you signed up for. So if you say, hey, I'm gonna do the centerpiece, that's exactly what I expect you to
For
do.
help. And then I did. So
But
I'm not saying you're making it seem like I use the going to get the stuff in the centerpieces as an excuse.
you did
Was
though.
huh? It wasn't an excuse. It was just something that made me tired. It wasn't an
But
excuse
that's what
to
you were supposed to
anything.
do though. So that's
Yes,
okay. So
but
let
that
me
doesn't
say it
mean
like
that it
this.
wasn't a lie.
I know, but let me say it like this. So if you say I'm gonna do a task for you, and I'm
And
this
the
is what I'm
task
gonna
does a
do,
lot.
and and this is what I'm gonna do for you. Anything that's within that task when it comes to business, because now we're not talking about friendship, we're talking about business. So anything in that task group that has to do with business, I expect for you to do. Same
Sure,
thing like if I have something, a task load that you give me, you expect for me to do it. So
sure.
when things don't get done, regardless
Then
of
you dismiss them.
how you feel, well, no, now I have to pick up your slack.
Yes.
So now at the end of the day, I have to pick up your slack. I don't want to hear anything else about it because now I have an extra task load that I have to do that I was not planning
That you
on
would have
doing.
had to do anyway.
But I would have taken that if you hadn't signed up for it. So I would have been prepared to do those things if you would not have said, I can do it. I could have did all of this on my own accord. I could have said, okay, boom,
I think
I can hire
that's the
somebody.
real
I
problem.
can do this. I can hire somebody to do this. I can do this. I can do the same way that I said, hey, I'm gonna do the centerpieces. Hey, I can do it for you. I could have had somebody else do the centerpieces. So whether it was you, Sally Joe, or Mary Jane, whoever dropped the ball, I still have to pick up that slack.
But for the
So
record, that she
forgive
dropped
me.
the ball. The
So for
pieces,
so
they were
no, but
beautiful.
I'm saying they were beautiful. But what I'm saying is everything was last minute that made you tired. They made you this, that made you this. We have been planning this event for
But
months.
Brie, we didn't
So,
talk
but
about.
listen,
No, you told me about the centerpieces a couple of days ago. We didn't talk about money. We didn't talk about any of that. I didn't have it, so I
then you
was
should
waiting for
have
you to talk.
asked. If you didn't have it, why didn't you ask? Why
We've
would you
just been
say
busy.
why okay, but so then that's irrelevant then.
It's not because you came the day before the event when we had a gang of stuff to do and talk about. We've never had a sit down meeting to make sure that
But
everything is checked and balanced. You sent a list in the mix of me doing a whole bunch of other stuff
that y'all didn't acknowledge for weeks.
because I didn't have time to.
Okay, so then that's not my fault though.
It is. It ain't.
That you didn't have time.
It ain't mine.
So it's my fault that you
It's
didn't
not.
have time.
It's not mine though.
Okay, so let me
It's
I
not
think this is
mine though.
where but this is the problem. You're now saying it's not mine. It's not yours.
It's not
Then
my
don't
fault.
sign up. Don't say I'm going to do these
I
things
did help.
and
I
when
said I'm
but
gonna
time
help,
out.
and I did. I did a
But
lot.
time out. But
I
time
did
out.
most of the things.
You took that upon yourself though.
Yes, and I'm happy to do that.
So then that's not my
So the whole
fault.
time, and the only thing that's
So
your fault is you treated me like I didn't help. Because that's what
I
you treated everybody in that party way better than you treated me.
I
Way
think
better.
I
The
think
people that showed up late because they're flex. The people that said they're gonna stay and they didn't. Like they didn't get none of this.
I think
None
that
of it.
the
Not an ounce.
the problem that I feel like you when Brianna gets upset, I feel like
Suck the energy.
you I don't I don't it's not that
I'm
I suck.
telling you.
I don't okay, but it's because I don't handle things the way that you would handle them.
Handle things with
And
grace
but
and forgiveness.
that's not true because if I didn't handle things with grace and forgiveness, I wouldn't be here.
Because you
So
feel
that's
like
not
grace and
true.
forgiveness is
So let me ask you this: if
is
I don't
not
no
going off
no
and not fighting and not
let me
being
say this:
friends.
if I don't
There's
handle
a
things,
great
okay,
area.
let me ask you this: if I don't handle things with grace and forgiveness, would I still allow you to help me after all the countless times that things have happened that you have dropped the ball on?
That statement sounds crazy.
But it's true though. So
Allow
let's
me to help you.
so yeah. So if I'm having an event and you're saying, "Hey, Bree, can I help you?" and I know that your history is not always shiny because you always have 18 different things to do, your hands in 25 different pots. So because your hand is in 25 different pots, and you say, "Hey, Bree, can I help you?" If I don't handle things with grace and forgiveness, and on a no, she messed up the last time, so I don't want her help, I wouldn't say yes. I would love your help. So you can't sit up
It
here and
gives the
say,
charity vibes, and
like
I don't like that.
you can't sit up here and say that I don't handle things with grace and forgiveness
I
because
forget.
when you drop
In
the
the
ball,
moment,
let
well,
me
no, you don't.
when you drop the ball,
I'll
no.
revise my statement. In the moment, you don't handle it with grace and
But why?
forgiveness.
Okay, so let me ask you this:
You
if
told me yourself that that was one of your problems and
okay,
something that you're working
so
on.
let me ask you this: if a situation happens
Yeah,
and it's business related
sure.
and you drop the ball,
Mhm.
why
Would you handle it with grace
why
and forgiveness?
no
Because your mama dropped the ball, you dropped the ball, a bunch
why
of other
would
people dropped
I
the ball, and you didn't give them
okay,
this.
first of all, we're not gonna talk about my mama, so we're not gonna do that at all. That's out.
I'm not talking about
I
your mom.
well
I'm not saying nothing negative about your
let's
mom.
make that
I
very
love your
clear.
mother.
Let's make that very
My
clear.
point is there
So
was things that people were supposed to do that they didn't, and there was no attitude given.
you don't know that. Do you don't know that I pulled people aside? My uncle was
You
supposed to
didn't
bring
have
the
to.
water
You didn't
and
have
he
to pull
didn't
me
do it.
aside.
My
You
uncle was
gave me
supposed to
attitude in
water.
front of everybody
So
else. How come you didn't pull me aside and give me the attitude?
at the end of the day, I feel like the issue is that I do things A, B, and C, and you do things Z, D, E, and F. And I cannot operate in Z, D, E, and F. I can operate in A, B, and C.
I
It
just want
took
you to
me,
operate in love.
it took,
That's all.
I did. And if I
I
didn't
didn't feel like
operate
it.
in love, if
I'm
I
just
did
saying you
not
did not feel
operate
like it
in
at
love,
all.
I wouldn't be here. Period. If I wasn't operating in love and forgiveness and grace, I wouldn't have seeked counsel to see how I can approach this situation and do it in love and grace and tact. I would not have asked for guidance in this situation. I would not have taken the steps that needed to be done in order for this conversation to happen. So you
And I
cannot say
appreciate you,
that
Deborah.
you cannot
In the
say
moment.
that I regardless, you cannot say that I don't operate in love and grace
In
and
the
forgiveness
moment.
because I have forgiven you for countless of things over and over and over and over again. And I still place things in your hand that I probably should not have because I understand that you have your hand in 20 different pots and you're constantly being pulled in this way, this way,
My
and
hands
this
don't
way.
come out
So,
phenomenal because a lot
so
of the things that
I'm
come
not,
out
we're not going to take away from that
15
though.
things in my hand and I drop two and you making
But
it
we're
seem
not,
like
but the ball, but regardless, the ball
the,
is
the way you're placing it
so
sounds crazy.
regardless, the ball is still dropped. So whether it's one ball, whether it's 10 balls, whether it's two balls,
It
whether
matters
it's
though. My
15,
stats is still good. I'm
but
still getting an A in the class. If you give me
I'm
10
not
balls
okay.
and I drop one, you make it seem like we lost the game. We did
But
not.
but this is the
The
thing
event
to
was
you, but
beautiful.
to you though, because it's not yours. So that's why it's you dropping one ball to two balls doesn't really matter
That's
to you.
right. Balls. It's not that it doesn't matter because the ball drops and what do? I pick it up.
But this
The
is what you're
rain. Oh,
saying.
that was important.
But
Oh
this is
shoot,
what
I
you're
didn't look at
saying.
those things. Those
But
didn't happen. All right, don't worry
but
about
this
it.
is
I'm
what
gonna
you're
call my
saying
cousin.
though.
I'm gonna do this. I'm gonna handle it out. Ah, breathe. fixed it.
But
I
this is
dropped the ball, but I
but
found another one,
but
and it's
this is
better.
what you're
And
saying
you're
though.
like, that you should have. Like, dang.
But I never said that.
But
So
that's the
but
attitude that you give me. Like,
okay,
yeah, you better figure
but
it
you
out. You should the one who dropped it in the first place. Like,
but
dang,
but
I don't
like
get no good looking for figuring it out.
but
No,
why
nothing.
okay, but why okay, so why should I give you a
Cause
good
I'm a
looking
human.
for doing the things that you said that you were
Cause
gonna
I'm a human.
do?
Cause I'm a
You
human.
shouldn't have to give you cookies
If I
every
have
time
to, why do
you
you see
do
that as a
that.
chore to tell somebody good looking for helping you?
Good looking for picking up the ball you dropped?
Yes.
That's ridiculous.
Yes.
That's crazy.
Because I only caught the ball because you threw it to me. So that's the only reason I caught it. You threw it to me. Ah, oh shoot, let me drop it. I got it though. We still good. Thank you. There you go. Pick up that ball. Yes, encourage me as I encourage you because that's what friendship is. Where's the
But
love?
in the
Where's the
moment,
encouragement in the moment?
it was business. It wasn't friendship.
But you let the moment go for 2 days.
It was
That was a
no,
long
you did
moment.
plenty of things the next day that irritated me that I was just like, you know what, I have to step aside and I have to
Because
do
you were
this.
already
From
irritated.
even even like from the past situation, like it wasn't your call to pass out passes. You should have called me. You should have said, hey Bree, I got here. You have 15 passes and I'm going to XYZ.
All these things that you're saying should have.
You
Well, I'm
made
just trying to help. Cool, we're here.
okay, but what I'm
And
telling
that
you
wasn't even me. That was Jay. I didn't pass out passes.
but again, what I'm telling you is you got there before I did. So
I didn't pass
if
out passes.
but if when I called you though, you said, Bree, you have 15 passes. I gave this to this, I gave this to this, I did blah 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 blah. I said, hey, well, can you get those passes back? I said, because those passes are already accounted for. So
You said you
someone
have 5.
so no, I said I had 5 that weren't accounted for.
You said I only have 5
No, I
passes.
said I only have
You
5
said
that
I
weren't.
only have 5 passes,
I
and
said that
all of these are
aren't
accounted for. And
I
I said, well,
I said aren't accounted for.
free. Keep in mind, I was at the event an hour before you were, and with somebody that was there to help. So you're telling me to take the pass away from somebody that's helping me right now, and I'm tired. We're going back and up those stairs. I went up those down those stairs probably 15
Okay, but
times. I got a
Crystal, we
bad
all
back.
did.
But no, you're saying we all did, but it's not my event. My point is, I'm doing the most for you, and this person is here to do some stuff for you, and you're telling me to take this away. All I'm saying is she ain't here. She don't know that taking this pass away might get her car stolen, and she's not here. We
But
have
this
a
is
lot
what
of
I'm
stuff
saying.
to
That
do.
wasn't your choice to make. So what I'm saying is,
But the fact that you're mad at me making it,
I
and I said
wasn't
don't.
mad.
I say don't. You just said there's plenty of things that you did during the day
That
that pissed
irritated
me
me.
off.
Yeah,
That
it irritated
irritated
me.
you.
So I'm gonna
Irritated
tell
me
you
and
why
pissed off
it
me.
irritated me because
What are you
I
saying?
asked you to do one thing, and every time I ask, you give me a rebuttal. I don't want to hear a
But you didn't
rebuttal.
know the
I
situation,
knew the
Bree.
situation.
You
I
thought her
signed up
car
for
was
the
going to get
lease.
signed out. I
I
mean,
signed up for the lease. She
so
should have parked on the outside like
they
I
said
told
that it
her
was going to be
to.
worse.
Okay,
The people at the building said
so
she cannot park there. She will get her car towed immediately.
okay,
She
so
needs to
I'm
park there. She's the only person here to help. You're telling me that these passes are for people that aren't here yet. I'm like, cool. We could figure that out later. The girl already said
that
that we could go
but
make a
that
chat.
wasn't your decision. So that's what I'm getting at. I'm getting
You
at
weren't there.
you say things like this is your event, but then you make decisions about my event like it's your event and then you say
I
I'm
was
just
making
trying. But
decisions
listen,
about that.
but that's what I'm saying. So you're making the decisions and you're saying I'm making them to fill in the blank and then when I don't like the decision
I
that's
just don't
made,
think you understood
listen,
it.
I'm not done though.
I'm
I did
sorry.
understand. I'm not incompetent. I understood
It felt like you did.
100%. So at the end of the day, you're saying like, Bree, this is not your event.
That's not
You're
something.
saying no, you did say that. You said, Bree, this is your event. This is not my event. You said that
I thought you said
100%.
that this is not
Okay, I'm
your
going to
event.
rephrase that. You said, Bree, this is your event.
Yeah,
This is not my event.
absolutely.
But then you're making decisions as if it was your event without talking to the person that it is its
I was
event.
just trying to guide and help,
Okay, I
and I apologize
understand
for
what you were
like.
trying to do, but what I'm saying is those are the things that were irritating. Because if
Okay,
I said,
that's fair.
hey, I want it this way, perfect example with the rugs and the pillows, I said, oh, well, I like it here. You said, I don't like it here because the background is ugly. We should put it there.
I did
That
not
was,
say that.
yeah, you did. You said this
I did
background,
not say nothing about the
girl,
background. Is
you,
oh, you're talking
yes,
about the wall. Yeah,
100%,
not the
100%.
background. I'm saying
The
like
wall,
the walls
100%. That's what you said.
changing.
Those are your words. But this is my thing if it's my event and that's where I want it, I don't care. If
And
you
to be
but
fair,
listen, but I'm not
those
done though.
pillows were not yours,
I'm not
and I
done.
didn't want them on the floor.
Let's but let me
Sure,
so if I say whether it's the pillows, whether it's the blanket, whether it's a cupcake over here to the left or to the right,
absolutely.
if I say this is where I would like it, everything that I said, like, oh, I want it here, I want it there. Well, that's not my vision. I'm gonna roll this out. I don't like it here. I want to put it here. That's
What else did I do that with besides the pillow and the
but
blanket?
that's not your call.
It was my
So
call because that was my mama's pillow, and I didn't want her to
what
wake
I'm
up with a
saying,
bunch of people to touch it.
but that wasn't
That was my
what
call.
I'm saying is if I say this is what I want it to be, I don't want a rebuttal. I don't want your input put into it. What saying, well, I think I should do this. I think this, or I think it looks better this way. I didn't ask for
I
that.
get you, but with that situation, that was crazy. I
There's
was
more
trying to.
than one situation, so it wasn't
What other
just the
situation?
pillows. It wasn't just the pillows. It was even with the setup. Well, I
What
thought
setup?
like the setup with the welcome table. Well, you're gonna put the welcome table here. Well, then why not put it over here? Because da 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 da.
I asked
I
a
don't.
suggestion. You said
But
no. I said cool.
that's what I'm talking about.
You're making it seem like
Everything.
people aren't allowed to. Hey, you admit you what is the word? You admit that creativity is not your forte. So if I see something that might look a little bit better, all I'm doing is like, Bree, you sure you don't want to do
But
it like
you're
this?
arguing
Because
me
I
down, and I
was
don't
not
like it.
arguing you down. I said, da-da-da. I'm explaining to you why it might be dope. Hey, da-da-da, we want to put this there. Now we can put this there. Nah, I don't think I like that. You sure? Because this could happen. No, I don't
But
like
that's what
it
I'm talking about. Why do that? So if I say
to
I
try
don't
to get
like,
you to see the vision
but
if
I
you
don't
don't
like
understand what
it.
I'm saying, and that's fine.
So then
If
why
after
continue?
I'm only continuing because I'm trying to make sure that I get my point across because sometimes I don't.
But
So if I say, hey, do you like that over there? And you're like, no, I don't like it. I'm like, no, I'm talking about that. And you're like, you might be like, oh, that. Okay, cool. I just want to make sure that we're communicating effectively. That's not me arguing you down. That's me just making sure that you understood my suggestion. You sure? Because that might be helpful. Maybe I can give you a mindset of why I'm thinking that that might be helpful. Well, maybe if we put it right there, then this might help and I might help with that. If you're still like, no, okay, bet. But I'm just trying to make sure
okay,
that
so let
it's
me ask you
clear on
this.
what I'm
Why
asking.
do we have to go through 10 different dialogues for you to be like, okay, that's
It's
fine?
fine.
It do be. It be back and forth. It do
It
be.
don't be 10. Man, it's
It be
sometimes
like 7.
because I don't feel like sometimes I explain myself
But
correctly.
but if each time I'm saying no and you keep going and each time I'm saying no,
Then
why do
eventually I drop it.
but why does it have to do that though? Why do we have to go from A, B, C,
Because
D, and
I
E for you
don't
to
feel like
drop
I
it?
explain myself clearly.
But if I'm
So I want to make sure that I explain myself clearly to know that you're saying no at the right thing.
I think that
That's why.
I think that
So that might be my
ultimately,
trait of me just making sure that I paint the picture. So you're also saying no versus something happening because if I'm suggesting something, it's probably because in my mind I'm like, ooh, that'll make sense. We could probably do that, and then
right?
that might.
But I think
So it sometimes there's a lot going on in my brain. So I'm like coming to you like, hey, idea. Do you think this will work? You're like, no. Let me tell you why
but
though.
I don't
Because
see, I don't want the lies. I
and
don't want the lies.
exactly you don't, and that's fine. I won't give it to you, but I want you to know why I did that because that's the question you asked. Why does it take that? And it takes that because sometimes I know that there's a lot that goes on, and because I have a lot of different reasons. Usually, before I come to you with something, I want to make sure that you understood why I thought it was a good idea before you shoot it down. And if you still shoot it down, no big deal. I don't. My feelings ain't hurt. I just want to make sure that you know that there might be a better way to do it. Hey, I have some reasons, and this might be tight. Do you like that? Do you not like that? Do you want to do these things? I did see this. Da-da-da. No, cool. All right, switch.
Okay, so I'm gonna say this. I'm gonna start off by saying at the end of the day, I hear what you're saying in terms of you feel like I um when I get upset with you, you feel like I take it to the extreme with you and I don't take it to the extreme with everybody else, right?
Mhm.
So for me, I don't necessarily feel like that's the case. I feel like I hold you to the standard of which you explain yourself, right? So you are a multi um talented individual, right? So you can do a lot of things. So you can do balloon arches, you can do the creative aspect, you can paint, you can poke, like you have your hand and so many different things, and you have talents and so many different things. So for me, as your friend, I hold you to a higher standard than I hold the people around me
Sure.
because they cannot do those things. So if I'm holding you to this standard because I see the things that you do, I see the things that you develop, I see the things that you make come to life. When you give me a 60% versus like 100%, I'm going to hold you to that 100 because I know the things that you're capable of. So in those moments, I don't feel like it's coming across any harsher than anybody. I feel like I'm holding you to the standard of which you operate or what you could operate. So when I'm holding you to that standard, I expect more out of you because you can do all those different things. And I know the things that you've put weddings together, whole parties together. So because of that, I'm going to hold you to a higher standard than I'm going to hold somebody else who cannot do those things. So but listen,
standard comes with the higher consequences.
but listen,
That's crazy.
but I'm not done though. So I'm going to hold you to that higher standard. And again, I don't feel like I was disrespectful in that moment. However, if okay, but I'm not done though. So like if I don't feel like I was disrespectful in that moment. I feel like in that moment I had to do what I had to do to get everything done, and I wasn't feeling like sunshines and rainbows because I'm tired as well. I'm mentally drained as well. So the happy go lucky in my zone that you were able to be in when you had time alone, I wasn't able to do that. I had to sit in traffic because of an accident. I had to do all of these things. Didn't know where Danny lived. Took me 20 minutes to find out where Danny lives because the pin she dropped me wasn't the right pin. So I was not able to come home and be happy go lucky. I wasn't able to take a shot of tequila and a shot of Red Bull and get the party started. I wish I was. I was not. You had time to center yourself and get yourself where you needed to be. I did not. So I don't think that that's fair that your expectation was wanting me to be sunshines and rainbows when I'm having to do everything and more that I wasn't prepared to. So I'm going to say I apologize if you feel like I was being disrespectful. That was never my intention. It was never my goal to disrespect you or make you feel less than. That was never my intention. So I do apologize if that's the way that it came off. Unfortunately, because this is my event, everything falls on me. So I wasn't in the space to be happy go lucky. I was grind mode. Bree, you have to figure this out. You have to push through your tiredness. You have to push through all of this. You have to get up and you still have to do XYZ. Okay. So I had my own set of things to worry about. So I wasn't worried about coming home and creating a happy atmosphere for Crystal so we can be on a good page. I wasn't thinking about that. I wasn't thinking about that at all. I was thinking about, Brie, what do you have to do so you can get to bed because you have to be up in the morning. I got up early in the morning and worked all the way till 9:30. You know what I'm saying? I got 2 hours of sleep because I'm still doing all of these things. So I wasn't in the space of being comforting. I wasn't in the space of being happy. I wasn't in the space of let's talk and let's chit chat that out. I was in the space of this is your first event. This is your first launch. You have to get it done. It's grind mode. I didn't see anything past that. So if you felt like that was disrespectful or you felt like my aura was off or this or that, 100% it was. So if that affected you or that offended you, I apologize for that. But I can't say that I I can't say that I would no, that's wrong because I would have changed, like some things in some of the dialect. Um, I would have changed, like some of the ways that maybe like that our conversations went or whatever. So I can't say that I would have changed it, but like in that moment, none of that was a concern of mine. I'm being 100% honest. None of that was a concern of mine. Making sure that, we talked about it or we this or that, that was so far from my brain because I had things to do. And that's all that I could see in that moment. So if that came across to you any type of way, past what I thought it did, I do apologize for that. In terms of, I'm trying to like go down the list of everything that you said affected you. So in terms of the thank yous and things like that, I 100% know that I said thank you. I 100% know that I acknowledged you. So whether or not it was heard, I know that I said it and I said it publicly in front of everyone when I introduced everyone, oh, this and that, this, I had a whole speech that I said. I was not aware you and whoever it is that you left with, like I was not aware that you weren't in the building. Nobody told me any of that. So I'm running around and I'm doing this,
When I
I'm
heard the
doing that,
speeches, I heard the speech about Julissa and everybody.
this and that. Those were all separate speeches though.
Okay, I didn't know.
So that's what I'm saying.
But
So
I didn't know. Like,
but
if
I
don't
was
get a
not
thank you
aware.
to myself,
Right, but I wasn't aware that
When
you weren't there. So what I'm saying
you didn't know
is
until now.
until you said it,
Oh,
I didn't know that you weren't there. I didn't know that you guys left to go get water and ice.
How do you know that that's when that happened?
Because you didn't hear it. So that means you weren't there.
Because I don't think that's when it happened.
I got dressed, came back. You guys were eating, right? Or no, you guys had just got back and you guys started eating. You literally walked in, grabbed a plate, and you sat down because I picked up the ice off the ground and the waters off the ground. You were gone.
So you said the speech before that.
I said the speech before that.
So
you guys
knew
were
that
gone.
I wasn't there to hear the thank
No. I dropped when I went to go get the water and ice, I didn't know who dropped those off. They were sitting at the door. On the bottom of the doorway.
Yeah, we dropped them off because I had to go park, so I could even come back.
How did I know who dropped them off?
Huh?
I didn't know who dropped them off.
Thought that maybe somebody would told you.
No.
I didn't want to go get the water. So.
No. I walked down the stairs.
And to be fair, the only reason I didn't talk to you about the waters, I came downstairs and the first person I saw was your mom. And so I was like, Mom, they're up there talking about waters. Do you have anything? Is there anything else to drink? She said, no. Oh my gosh, we got to get them. So we had made up a whole plan. She was like, I'm gonna go get this. I'm gonna go get this. Okay, I'm gonna go water. I didn't know that she didn't tell you.
But that plan didn't.
I get you, but I know you were like,
so
you
right,
doing all
yeah.
these things,
But that's what I'm saying. But that's what I'm saying. For me, it's unfair for you to say that I didn't thank you because I thanked you publicly, right? And I was unaware that you did not receive that. So when you're saying like you didn't thank me, I'm like, that's out of pocket because I did. I thanked each and every person that was there. Literally. I gave each and everybody, hey, this wouldn't happen, da 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 da, balloon arches. That's how everybody know you did the balloon arch. I said, yeah, the balloon arch, da, da, da. My teacher like, oh, can I get her number? Blah, 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 blah. So the speech was said. Now, again, I was not aware that you were not there. That's why you didn't hear it. So that's why when you're like, oh, you didn't say thank you, that's crazy. Because I did say thank you. I would never, no matter how mad I am, I'm never going to be like, Crystal didn't help. No, I don't know who did that balloon arch. That's never been a thing. I've never not given you recognition.
I'm not saying that. I'm just saying you didn't take me aside. You didn't say thank you.
But
hey, sis, at the end of the night, after it was just like, dang.
Because I was not aware that you were not there.
No, I get it. I just want you to understand that I wasn't aware that you said it.
Right,
so
but
the whole time I'm still feeling crazy.
Right, but that's what I'm saying though. But that's what I'm saying though. So again, like so that's what I'm saying. So like I did acknowledge you. Now I'm sorry you weren't there, like to hear it, and I'm sorry that I wasn't aware that you didn't hear it till now. No, I don't want to tell you now. No, it was personal. You should have waited, and you would have got your speech just like everybody else.
What do you
Nobody
mean waited?
To go get water. You should have done both.
That's where it started.
Okay, well they could have to the bathroom, and they could have
per usual.
They could have
filled in the blanks
and drunk it off their hands.
That's what they were doing. And
well, that's what they should have continued to do.
They were going on the pool. They're like, should we just get a?
There was margaritas and sangria. They could have been just
the
fine.
Kids. I tried to give them to it, and then some of the parents started looking at me weird.
But that's what I'm saying. So I was not aware that that was not a thing. So if I was aware that that was a thing, that like Crystal wasn't there to hear it, I would have definitely said, hey, now that she's back, this is XYZ.
And to be fair, I wasn't expecting a public announcement.
I understand that, but I'm just explaining. But I'm just explaining that it was said. So for you to feel like, oh, she went all day, I'm clearing the air to let you know that I did not go all day without giving you recognition. I gave you recognition, and I told everybody your accolades. She did this, she did that. Accolades. She did this, she did that. I was like, hit her up. She does it all. I passed out your info. Like, here's her Instagram. So I definitely
record that
was there. I think Z faded. I can see if she can sit through. But so I definitely did that. Now, again, I was not aware that you did not know that up until now. So I do apologize for you having to go all day feeling like that wasn't the case. That was a miscommunication on just like it was who knew? I didn't know.
I just feel like moving forward, sis, the way that you made me feel in those moments was crazy. So because I know that I am human, I cannot promise that the next time you give me a task,
right, but that's why I wanted to say
you don't have to ask me for.
Yeah, I feel like moving forward when it comes to like business related aspects, I think that because of the way that I operate and the way that you operate, I don't think that they mesh very well. So I think moving forward, it just should be separate. So anytime I have any type of event or anything like that, like I'm not going to, and not because you're not good at it or not because I don't think that you can go through. Like I'm not, like I'm not going to reach out and say like, hey, or if you're like, hey, I can help you. Hey, like I appreciate the help, but like I'm not,
Nope.
we're not gonna, yeah, like we're not gonna do that. So I definitely feel like that aspect shouldn't be a thing anymore. And
Agree.
I feel like anything business wise that we have together should just be like dissolved, because I don't feel like um I don't feel like it's something that, like, you know how like you can like mature and like a relationship with people. I don't think it's a maturity thing. I just think it's a style thing. Like I just feel like it's an operational thing, right? Like I feel like I'm more constructive and I'm more of a planner and I'm more of a, hey, this needs to get done in this time and this time and this time. And you're more like of a free spirit. Like it still gets done, but it gets done whenever you have the time, or it gets done when you have the capacity or this or that. And like I can't operate that way. You know what I'm saying? Because like the way that my life is set up, I don't have time for errands because I don't have time to waste. You know what I'm saying? Like I don't have time to figure things out like last moment. Like I don't have time. Like between work and this and that and all of those things, if things don't fit in my schedule the way that it should, I can't do it. Like I can't operate like in that manner. So I think, like you said, like I think just like moving forward when it comes to business aspects, I don't think it should be a thing. I think that I anything that you're like you do, like obviously like I'm still gonna be a part of it in terms of like I'll come, I'll watch,
Which is,
I'll support,
I want to
I'll
show up as the
do,
least ability gift.
yeah, I'll do, like I'll do all of that. But outside of that, like I can't, because I think that like my expectations are
I'm just not a
are
robot.
are are too much like for you, like right, like task wise. So like if a task is given, I have a certain level of like expectations and a certain level of like I need it to be this way or this way. And if it's not done this way or this way or
Love
this
to do
way,
it that
now
way, and I'm like, I want to switch it. This
right,
actually is better, and then it freaks you out. And I was
right,
just
because
trying
again,
to create something better than
right,
what I originally planned.
right,
And yeah, I don't like to be in that space, so I
yeah,
wouldn't
so
voluntarily be in that space unless it was making me money.
yeah. So
'Cause
like,
then I'll do it.
so I just think, again, like the way that like I operate, I just don't think
I
is
agree.
a good suit for you. So that was the whole gist of this conversation, because I felt like this was the second time that like it has really happened. Like the first one was like with our first event, and um
Mismeasured our photo booth.
yeah, you forgot the piece at home. And
No, it was just mismeasured. That was the only piece. We just measured wrong. It was you got a 10-foot banner and it was only like a 7-foot
yeah,
thing.
so
So we
so
got to generate it and make it work because we had the measurements wrong, but that made you pissed off and you didn't talk to me for the rest of it.
yeah, because you cut holes in the banner to try to make it work, and then it was drooping over the side. And I said, we should just not do it at all. And then you were like, well, no, I can make it work. And then it just didn't work after I said,
Absolutely.
hey, we shouldn't do it at all. We should just let's get rid of it and use it for a later date, because we don't have time to figure this out, because you still didn't figure out the iPad situation because there was no Wi-Fi. And then so they're gonna do the photo booth. So I was like, well, let's just veto it and we don't have to worry about it at all. But then you were so persistent of saying like, no, I can do it, I can do it, I can do it. And then that
Very
was that.
persistent.
Yeah. And I was just like, okay, well, I'm done with that situation because it's not what it's supposed to be. So it's fine. You can handle it. So again, and that's a situation we don't have to revisit. But like even in that situation, again, like I just my expectations, like, like when I do things, like I expect my T's crossed and my I's dotted and my B's capitalized. You know what I'm saying? And like I expect
Because you're what?
things, yeah, because I expect things to be done in a certain manner, because for me it's my representation, it represents me and it represents who I am. So when it comes down to that, I feel like I can't afford to have things not go the way that they're supposed to. I can't afford to have things dropped in certain areas that could have been avoided by double checking our work, that could have been avoided by doing things in a timely manner, that could have been avoided by answering text messages and comments and concerns, which could have been avoided with more conversations. I'm okay with life happening and life throwing you curveballs to where, hey, nobody planned for this. Now we got to think on our feet. I'm okay with that. I'm not okay when things happen when they could have been prevented,
But to be fair, that
because
is a lot of what
because
happened.
that's extra
This
stuff.
this whole month has been life throwing its curveballs. That you said that you're going to be here for like a week prior to your event. That didn't happen because you had to work.
Right.
I just
Right.
lost two people.
Right.
I didn't
But I'm
have the
not
capacity to do all
what I'm
those things.
saying is like that's not what I'm talking about. I'm talking about
A lot of
the situations that happen, like for instance, like the ring light, like we not knowing where that's at. We've been talking about this for a month. So like
that was
for
Chelsea going to
months.
the storage. We thought it was at the storage, but
Right.
again, that's
But
nobody knows that it wasn't
But
there.
this is what I'm saying. Because I was asking it about it for 2 months, we should have, and I'm going to say we because it's mine. So it's my responsibility at the end of the day. All of this falls on me. So I take full responsibility for this because this is mine. But what I'm saying is, I had been asking for that for 3 months. So y'all are telling me within the 90 days that we had been planning this and I've been asking for it not once. Could somebody go to the storage and see if
We
it was there?
touched it. They moved.
But again, but
We
what I'm
touched it within these 3 months, though. I just want you to understand
I get that,
us,
but
though.
again, but what I'm saying is, why did we wait till Friday to go see if it was there? That's all I'm
Because we
saying.
all thought it was there.
But
So we're not gonna
thinking,
go. We don't have the time and capacity to go to Long Beach into a storage and do stuff before it's needed.
but what I'm saying is, again, that's how you guys operate. That's not how Brianna McHale
I
operates.
just want you to
I
understand.
operate in a way that if I'm planning things and I think things are there, I'm going to go check because if they are not there, I have to get it by the time I need it. So my thing was,
For the
I
record, we
feel
got
like
the ring arch and it was
okay,
beautiful.
but that's not the point, girl. The point is that we waited, and I'm saying we again because even though it's Chelsea storage, and even though she said she would get it, whatever, it's still my event. It was my responsibility. So even though I planned this for 3 months and I kept asking you guys, do we have it? Are you sure? I can order from Amazon. No, I haven't. No, I haven't. No, I haven't. The day of, we don't have it. Don't nobody know where it's at. Did the problem get fixed? Yes. Praise the Lord. Hallelujah. Thank you for
By
that.
who?
Thank you for that.
Oh,
But
is that me? Did I
but the
fix the problem?
source is that the problem is we should not have waited till 3:30 on a Friday before to figure out if it was there. And if I had been asking, someone should have said, Bree, I don't have the time to go check, but when I do, I will, or I this, or I that.
Had you have asked the question, hey, can y'all go check and make sure
I
you
did.
guys have everything?
I
You
did.
said, can you guys
I
go
said,
check and make
I
sure you
said,
have everything?
yes, I asked you because I said, okay, well, who's gonna go to storage? I said, well, can we go check?
Chelsea's
Well,
going to the
it's
storage.
in Chelsea storage, and like she has it. Don't worry, it's there because
Maybe
we
you
do
talk
things
to
all
her
the
and
time.
ask her that.
I talked to you and I talked to her, and the last time I talked to you about it, you said, well, hopefully Brienne doesn't have it.
Because I was like, well, maybe she does.
Okay, but
They just moved.
I
It's been
get that,
my
girl.
point. The only
I
reason I
get that.
even said that, and I'm sorry that I even interrupted you, but it was just a lot that happened in
I
that last
get
month.
that. I
And so when
understand.
you think that something's there, that's just part of life. It's like it's there, it's there, it's there. Oh shoot, it's not there. That is crazy. And
I
I
get
I
that.
get the
But what I'm
checks and
saying,
balances of it. I
is
get it.
that was something that was
Doesn't matter.
in.
You're never gonna have this problem again, so it's fine.
That's fine. But see, okay, again, so like I'm trying to resolve it, and then you have this attitude of like, well, you're not gonna have this problem. You're right, I'm not gonna have this
Right.
problem anymore. But the issue at hand is that
I only said that because to me that
we
is the resolution.
we
We already came up with a resolution.
should have checked it
Sure.
prior. So like these are the things that when you say like, oh, I dropped the ball and it's like the end of the world. It's like, no, it's not the end of the world. It seems like it's a big deal because I've been asking you for months about it and y'all
I get you.
swore up and
My
down.
only reason I'm
So
saying that you still, the only reason I said that was because you pick my drop the balls like I don't pick it up. So that's why I'm saying like, yeah, I get to getting nervous like Crystal, what the hell? But then I picked it up and you still treat me like the ball still dropped and it's not dropped anymore.
but that's because you pick one up and then you drop another, and then you pick one up and then you drop another. And after so many
I ain't
times,
trying to juggle.
yeah, but then after so many times, it gets to a point where it's like, girl, like you can't say I am a party planner, I'm this, and I
I
can do
know.
this, and you do. You say I plan weddings. You tell people,
I am a wedding
but that's what I'm
planner.
saying though.
Right.
So you stand on all these accolades, but when it comes time
You agree?
to show up, it's not always consistent. It's not always a it's not always a in order type of situation. Now, does it always pull through? Yes, and I'm never going to take that away from you. Does it always
I
pull
don't think
through?
I've ever
Does it
done an event
always
where nothing's gone wrong. You're absolutely correct.
okay?
I don't that
Okay,
literally is
but we're talking about my event. So I'm talking about for my event and for my things,
I get you.
I cannot operate that way.
Yeah, you
And
want
so
everything to go perfect. I'm
right,
just saying I have never done an event where everything went exactly how I
okay,
planned.
but it's not, it's, but again, things that are in your control, you can control. Things that are outside of your control, you can't worry about and you can't
I'm just
control.
telling you what
So
happened to me. I'm not saying
right,
that,
right.
like,
But we're talking about this particular event. A lot of situations happened that were in our control that should have never happened. So that's where the source of my frustration. You're asking why I was irritated, why I did this, why I did that, because a lot of things that happened that were in our control got fumbled. And at the end of the day, it's my responsibility, and I take responsibility for putting those important things in other people's hands. That's on me. That falls on me. So a lot of my frustration, yes, was with you, but then a lot of it was with me as well, because it's like, well, dang, girl, like if you know time and time again XYZ happens or this happens, you have to do better. And you have to come to a point to where you say, okay, Bree, if this is yours, you have to take full control, you have to take full reign, and you have to now whip everything back into shape,
I guess I just
regardless of the
wanted like a real
situation.
tally situation because there was balls that you dropped that I picked up and helped you with, and it's like,
But we're not doing a tally situation. It's my event. So,
saying
but
I
I'm
was
saying
going.
this. But this is
Go
what I'm
ahead,
saying.
tell me.
I can drop all my balls I want. It's mine.
I know,
I
but
can do that.
but I'm just
But
saying
so what I'm
I don't
saying
get the
is,
grace of helping you. Like you didn't order the snow, you didn't do this. I'm like, I got you. I'm gonna come up with solutions. I'm gonna figure it out. And it's like, dang, you still mad at me for the balls I dropped, but you dropped them too, and I helped you pick them
yeah,
up.
but that's
Then I'm
my
at least get a
event
good looking.
though. That's my
No,
event
I
though.
get it. I'm just
So
you're
so
taking it
I
as
can.
event. I'm taking it as friendship. You know what I'm saying?
But
Like
we're
I
not.
just didn't.
But I think the issue is those when I get in business mode, it's two separate aspects. It's two
Get
separate
you.
aspects. So if I'm
I'm
talking
a
business
friend no
wise,
matter what.
I get that. But business is different than a friendship. So if we're talking
Kind of. This
business,
is why I'm gonna just let you fall. Oh, she didn't do that. Oh well. Ooh, oh well. Ooh,
okay.
oh well. I'm like, I can't do that. If I can figure that out, I'm gonna figure
But
it out.
I get that. But what I'm saying is ultimately, when things are said and done, the issue at hand was that you felt like you were disrespected and you felt like you didn't get kudos for doing things that you said that you were going to do. My thing that I was irritated at is that you continued to, let things go here, let things go here, and then try to overcompensate by doing, this is my opinion, right? You try to overcompensate by saying, okay, well, now I'm just going to start picking up things everywhere because I see that she's mad. So now I'm going to start doing all of these things
I was
to continue to help,
honest.
to continue to help. So,
It wasn't overcompensating things. It was just me showing up.
okay. So ultimately, like I said, I feel like moving forward, we know that it can no longer be like a business thing. It's
Mhm.
strictly like a friendship. Like I obviously like adore you and I adore everybody around you, and that's never going to change. So my love for you as a friend, my love for you as a sister, my love for you as you watching my kids on the weekdays is always going to be the same, right? And it's never going to change. I just think when it comes to the business, it just has to be separate,
I agree.
So in closing, I do apologize, again, and I want to reiterate that
I
so
apologize.
that you are clear on where I stand when it comes to the work that you put in for the event. I appreciate it 100%. And the event would not have been anything if it wasn't for your help, is if it wasn't for the decorations and if it wasn't for any of that. And I never wanted you to feel as if that was not a thing. And I never wanted you to feel as if your work is not valid and it's not it doesn't mean anything and it's not worth anything, because that was never my intention. I just think from my standpoint, I had to do what needed to be done. So I didn't have time to be loving. I didn't have time to be cuddling. I didn't have time to be coddling in the situation
I don't
because
follow me.
I get that, but you still wanted emotions from me that I did not have. I did not have those feelings.
And I
I
pray
did not
that you're able
have,
to like find peace in the mix of hectic
but that's the thing. I
situations.
don't want to find, I don't want to be in a
At ease.
situation. I was at ease. I was fine.
Okay.
I was fine with picking up the slack and doing what I had to do. My grind gear was on. I was fine. Okay, bro, you got to go to LA. Cool, boom, get it done, get it done, get it done.
You said you
My
were
issue,
irritated the whole
but
time.
my
That's what
that
I
was
mean.
with
Like,
you though. So my issue is not picking up the slack from other people, picking up where the ball drops, having to do extra work. That wasn't that's going to get done. My emotional aspect was with you. So I
right.
was at ease with the
That's
event.
what I'm trying to get you to admit to. You make it seem
But
like that
you're
makes
saying
sense.
you're saying I hope that you can find ease like in your, I was at ease. My irritation was with you. So in terms of me delegating or doing this and this, I was fine doing that. My issue was the things that were happening between you and I, right? So that's why I'm saying, again, if you felt like I was disrespectful, cool. My apologies. I don't know what I can do um to make you feel better about the situation other than an apology. You know what I'm saying?
I mean, at the end of
Because
the day, I feel like
I
it's water
can't
under
take
the
it back.
bridge. I just don't ever want to be in a space where I felt like I felt, because that was crazy to me. I don't ever want to feel like that for me, ever. So that's why I very much so agree. Because I was, like you said, we're all tired, but I'm tired for you. I wasn't tired for me. I could have been showing up like everybody else did, the little thing and been cool. But I didn't. I worked myself crazy for you, and I felt like you didn't care at all. So I don't like that feeling, which is why I'm cool on doing anything when it comes to that. I already talked to my mom about your wedding because I'm just gonna show up. Like I can't be in charge of nothing.
Oh yeah, I wasn't gonna have you be in
Yeah,
charge of
no,
that. That was
please.
out.
Yeah,
Yeah, no,
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 we're
no.
not doing none of that.
Mm-mm.
But I'm gonna be, have a little bit more money, so I'll help you pay for wedding planner. Your gift is gonna be popping, you know what I'm saying? Bachelorette party, I might hire a stripper, you know what I'm saying? But I ain't doing none of the extras. You know what I'm saying? And I mean that's freedom for me too, because I'm used to showing up for all my friends in a service way. So it is gonna be a weird like transition because service is how I love. I literally do things for people because that's just how I show I care. So not being able to do that is gonna feel weird for a while, but I'm like, I'll get more rest. So I'm okay with that. So yeah, I think that's a good solution moving forward. I ain't tripping.
Cool beans.
Agreed.
Yeah, that's so. So listening to all that,
I'll be emotional, so I'll
no,
be
you're
crying.
fine. And I mean, you guys have been friends for a long time, and so the emotion makes sense. Um, I think you guys both have blind spots though,
For sure.
and I think you both speak from your own individual truth, and sometimes you guys are not patient enough to be able to stand in your truth while having empathy for another at the same time. So with you, you're black and white. With you, you live in gray. And that's why you guys don't mesh as it relates to business. It's not that necessarily you both are wrong. The issue is that the way in which you guys function with each other in real time doesn't represent your best selves. So even hearing the back and forth for about an hour and a half now, it is it shows the deepness and the passion of the relationship, and that's where the emotion comes from, that there is this love, there's this care, but then there's almost this unrealistic standard though. You guys are functioning in a space that I just watched to where if it's not perfection, it's nothing. There is nowhere on the planet that operates there well. There is no relationship that operates like that, business or otherwise. And the frustration of the event, I can see that in practicality of things. You want things to be excellent. You want to make sure you can provide as much service and help that you can. But when it's all said and done, the relationship suffers based upon you guys' inability, it seems so far, being friends for this long, there's still an inability to look at one another and to be able to give immediate empathy if I feel I've been done wrong. So it's not the ability to put myself in your position in some sense. It's in real time.
Mm-hmm.
Can I, in that moment, adjust while I'm frustrated?
Mm-hmm.
And that's what y'all are talking about. You're saying, listen, it needs to be excellent. It has to get done. This thing drop is on me. So I got to be in grind mode. I fully get it. You're saying, hey, I'm in grind mode with you. But if I drop something based upon how you speak to me, determines how I am psychologically, emotionally going forward for the rest of the event. Both of those things can be true at the same time. But you guys haven't danced around the idea of, is it possible to drop a ball and still be excellent? Because you said you've dropped some. The only difference is how you treat each other when you do it,
Mm-hmm.
right? You're
Mm-hmm.
saying, listen, I said thank you, right? So you're more a black and white personality. You're the gray and saying, I get the thanks, but as I'm grinding, I need you to make sure you're feeding into me. That way, the energy I don't have, that gratitude will keep me going when I feel exhausted.
Mm-hmm.
So it's almost like sitting here, it's listen to me. It's I am but you're not seeing me.
Mhm.
So you're saying you're not hearing me. That's what you're saying to her. And you're saying I'm not being seen.
Mhm.
So it's from your base that you're speaking. So your passion comes from, if it fails, it's my life, my image, it's my brand. You're saying it's my heart.
Mhm.
So you guys are speaking from your baselines of passion.
Mhm.
Does that make sense?
Mhm.
So it's not that your baseline is wrong, it's not that your heart is wrong. The problem is that when we come together, we're not marrying well in communication. So let me give you a practical example of that. When you guys are in the room, wherever you were, when it rolled out that you couldn't go. However, it got there, it's irrelevant at this point. You didn't fill up to it. This is how that conversation could have happened. Hey, you know what? Let's just use the words that she was talking about. Hey, I'm not there. Mentally, I'm exhausted. These things. I'm wore out. I'm tired. Literally, the conversation could be, man, watch this. I feel completely let down. Because that's how you felt.
Mhm.
I'm really frustrated that you just said that, because I've been waiting for 4 hours. And had I known this end would have come, I could have left earlier. And now I feel as though I wasted 4 hours. And to be honest with you, I am overwhelmed and frustrated in this moment, because now I have to go out at 10 o'clock at night in the rain. And this is something I didn't want to do in this environment. So I just want to let you know that it's going to take me some time to work through this, because now I feel the same way you do right now, but I still got to hold this entire event as I do so. And so what that does is it lets you know on the front end,
Mhm.
I don't have it for you. But now this is the important part. Now, when you go to LA and you come back, you had time to get it right, which I agree with you in the sense of you had time to get your head in the right spot. And now you're feeling good about yourself.
Mhm.
The same principle applies. So when you come back, what you could, she did that to you before she left. When she comes back, hey Bree, I know I dropped that bomb. I'm sorry. I'm not making up an excuse. I just didn't have it, and I want you to know. I know how it's impacted you.
Mhm.
And I want you to know, I know it was a curveball. I know it was late. I know it was raining. I know you had to go to all these different places. And I want you to know I see you, and
Mhm.
I know I was the cause of that. So
Mhm.
what you're feeling, I take 100% responsibility for.
Mhm.
See the difference?
Mhm.
You would have felt heard,
Mhm.
and your heart would have still been respected.
Mhm.
Mhm.
And that's what I'm saying. You both can be right and wrong at the exact same time.
Right.
You're right for holding her accountable, but you're also right for being honest and saying, if I push myself too much, now my health is at risk.
Right.
So both of those can be true, meaning you can be right in saying there should be excellence, while at the same time, you can be right in protecting yourself, even if it means breaking a
Breaking the
covenant
yeah.
of excellence.
Mhm.
Because otherwise, this is what we're saying. I'm not saying you're saying this is what it would mean if we go too far. I don't care what happened to you,
Right.
right? And you're not saying that. But that's the extreme.
That it could have got
There
to.
you go.
Absolutely.
Then your extreme can go to, hey, if I just drop a ball, get over it.
Yeah.
That's the extreme.
Mhm.
And I'm not saying that's you.
Mhm.
So what do? We have to acknowledge that you speak from a place of being of concrete, and you're a place of abstract.
Mhm.
Neither are wrong. But if I don't understand the fundamental of your personality, makeup, and temperament,
Mhm.
even your working style, I can misinterpret your actions.
Mhm.
I don't think her intention was ever to let you down, but this is what I do believe. I believe you've always known she was abstract. So now this is where the leadership lesson comes in. If I know the abstract personality and foundation that exists in my friend, she's a creative. Therefore, typically, not all, many of them are not the organizational administrative types.
Right.
They are creatives. They are free flowing. They are in the moment, and they will create you something beautiful. But with that personality and gifts mix, sometimes there isn't the organizational side. That's your strength.
Right.
So now what I have to do is this. Can I, and I'm not saying do this is just the broad brush.
Right.
How do I protect the creative when I'm a concrete, the abstract when I'm concrete? If I ever have to tap into the abstract, I have to automatically know I must surround it with concrete. I must surround it with an administrative gift, because she's not going to give you that. Now, watch this. As a leader, any environment you invite her into that doesn't have an automatic administrative gift built into, you are setting her up for failure automatically off rip. The same vice versa. She told you, I'm not a creative, but administrative gift. Any environment that she pulls you into that's an creative environment, she knows that's not your gift mix. Therefore, I'm setting you up for failure. Now, extrapolate that down to the emotional side of your relationship. This is the key. When we're talking beyond what I'm hearing you say, can I see you? I personally, just from observation, I feel like y'all heard each other, but I don't feel like y'all saw each other in this conversation. Me looking at it, it was a huge pool of data and facts. It was completely devoid of the heart that brought y'all to this table. You see what I mean? And I think that's what y'all have to be careful to salvage. It's, yes, I agree. The data points matter, but they don't matter as much as the friendship. And the friendship isn't built on these data points. The friendship is built on the heart that even allowed y'all to come to this table today and have this very difficult conversation.
Right.
And it's important that when you're talking to each other, even when you're passionate, is to never forget that is my sister I'm looking at. That woman to die for me.
Right. Easy.
If something happened right now, we can squash all this and we go on a war right in the front block. So the thing is, how can we salvage that truth while we disagree?
Just don't wear the wig.
Does that make sense?
Yeah.
And so it's important that y'all are able beyond this conversation and say, okay, when we move forward in life,
Right.
how can we be careful to make sure I can look at you and say, hey, I'm mad at you, but just know I still see you.
Okay, so then my question is, how, oh, I don't want to cry because my lash is done. Oh my God, the glue's gonna come off.
I've literally been crying for 30
So like how can you be seen, right? Because I feel like doesn't matter. But so like how would you like how does that happen?
Mhm.
So like how do you see someone in a situation to where I'm hearing you, but what you're saying is not like is not it's hitting a wall
Mhm.
because it's like you're talking to me, but like I'm not listening because this is not happening now. You know what I'm saying? So then it's like in that moment, how do you see someone past everything that's going on? Because it's like I want to be able to acknowledge in that moment. I want to be like mature, emotionally mature enough to be like, hey, look, I'm not feeling that statement,
Mhm.
whatever. But I also think with the emotional maturity that it comes with displaying your emotional maturity and putting it out there, you have to be able to receive that like emotional maturity back.
Mhm.
And I don't always feel like that's the case with either one of us,
Mhm.
right? So like I feel like there's been times where she's been very good at being emotional upfront and then I don't receive it. And then there's been times where I'm just like, yo, like I'm just not feeling it right now, whatever. And because maybe it's not translated in a way that, she would like to receive it or in a way that like like she gets it, then it's like she's not, you know what I'm saying? So like in those moments, how do you see someone past the I hear you?
I'm gonna kind of go into that. Uh, I felt like that yesterday. Like I felt like I saw you and I knew that you still needed me, even though I felt like you dismissed me. So like there is no I wanted to stop and just run like the entire event.
Right, but it's
But
like
I know you needed things, so I stayed.
but
And I
I didn't feel that way though. So like that's the thing though. So it's like you're saying like I see you and I this and I that and it's like, well, I don't feel that way because if you truly saw me, you would have known like, okay, boom, she's just processing. Let me just sit back. Let her figure this out and then when she's ready, she can come back and she can this. So for me, I
did
didn't
a
see it.
horrible job
Right.
at doing it, but I'm letting you know what I did. It was Okay, I'm not gonna even talk to her about that. I'm just gonna go get the waters. I'm not gonna do that. She needs somebody. I'm gonna go do this. Nobody's doing that right now. I'm gonna do these things. Like in the mix of stuff, I'm just, and clearly it didn't translate well. It translated to you thinking it was my event. But those are the things that I was doing to let you know, look, you're not on your by yourself. I know you're mad at me, but I'm not about to let you fail.
So
You need this? I
right,
got
but
you.
so but my question again is, how does that translate? Because you're saying that you did it, but it didn't translate to me.
I
You
don't
know what
know.
I'm saying? So like, although in your heart and in your mind you felt like that's what you were doing, I didn't receive that. The
Yeah,
same
that's
way
crazy.
that like you felt like you didn't receive the kudos or the this and that, but I did it. Like, you know what I'm saying? So
That's a
I get all of that, and I love all of that, and I'm appreciative of all of that, but like
get it.
I still didn't get it. You know
Definitely.
what I'm saying? So in that moment, like, what exactly do you do?
Mhm. Well, a couple things. Number one, you guys are still interpreting it only through your own lens. So even this little dialogue you just had, you are still concrete and you're still abstract. So you are still moving from your gift to service. So
Mm-hmm.
you said, I just felt like I should da, 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 da. And you're still saying, but and inadvertently, I didn't actually do that. It's almost like, what did I tell you to do? You still are sitting in on your own pillar still.
Yeah.
And that's what I'm trying to get you to see. You
You're right.
guys have yet to be able to get off your pillar to see it from someone else's perspective. For example, you mentioned the water thing. Now you were, it was hyperbole that what you were saying, it was just more sarcastic, but in the sense of you don't need no water. Well, you do need water, right?
Yeah,
So that wasn't what you meant.
yeah.
What has to happen though, if you're running an event, someone has to make a choice
And
beside you.
and so even with the waters, like that's why I was like no one communicated with me because my uncle had left to go get water.
No, but
You
here's what
know
I'm
what I'm
saying.
saying?
No,
So
I do, but here's what I'm saying though. I'm saying is, even if you're running an event, you can't make or even be aware of everything.
right.
So it comes down to control,
Yeah.
right? What she's telling you is this: there is a ball that was dropped that wasn't even mine. That's called water.
Right.
So the question becomes, as the leader, do you need to be aware that someone's getting water, or if someone sees a need while you're running a million different things, should they meet the need? That's
Right.
the question I want you to answer.
Yes,
Okay, so
100%.
now, if they meet the need, you as the leader who is doing a million different things, you have to make a decision. I have to be able to allow other leaders in the room to put out fires that I don't have the ability to do because I'm over the event and I cannot know what's going on in all four corners of the whole place. Meaning, some things may not be done to my a billion percent perfection the way I would see it.
Right.
But that's because if they don't do it, it won't happen at all.
Yeah.
Right. So what it means is that even though I am this black and white person, when it comes to events, or extrapolate that out to anything you wanted to, at some point letting go of the control says it may not be 100% of what I would do, but if it's 90, would I still consider it a success? Right? Them getting the water, however that worked out, whether it got bust here, biked here, or walked here, that's a success because
For
nobody had
sure.
water. Right?
Yeah.
I use that example to say, at some point use that same principle and say, if they're picking up things, doing things, and running all over the place and trying to get all these things done, but yet the 4 hour thing is on my mind, do I have the emotional maturity to put the 4 hours on hold because an event is at stake? So when I come back and she's doing 15 million things, let's ask, what's advantageous? Me jumping in, cutting my face on, and cutting my personality on, and being the breed that I can be, is that more beneficial to the business, or being short with the help?
Yeah. And then
Now, I don't
honestly,
want you to answer it.
oh no,
Yeah.
that the first one. Like,
So
yeah, and
there you
so
go.
like and to be honest, I felt like that's what I did. But clearly I didn't do it at a great capacity, right? So I felt like when I woke up that morning, I was fine. I
Mhm,
wasn't thinking about the 4 hours. I wasn't thinking about that. I woke up, I saw that she was up because we're like in a group chat and she answered a group chat.
mhm.
I saw that she was up. I immediately went in there and said, "Hey, I'm getting ready to go get my makeup done. I'm gonna stop at the store. Do we need anything?" And I'm conversing with her.
Yeah,
That 4 hours I wasn't even thinking about.
I feel you.
You know what I'm
Mhm.
saying? That wasn't even a thing.
The question becomes, do you think she was? That's what I'm asking you.
I think that she was, and
Now,
I
now,
and
now,
I,
now, now, the reason I'm asking is this. This is what I mentioned earlier. You guys have to learn how to see each other. This is my point.
Right.
You woke up and you're fine. Why do you think that? Because you're the black and white personality. You're the concrete personality.
Yeah.
You are, it has to get done. I'm about to grind it out, head in the sand. I'm not looking up until the whole thing is done.
Yeah.
Your best friend and sister that would ride and die with you is the opposite personality.
Yeah.
So when you woke up good, you can immediately assume, because you know her so well, she's the opposite of me right now.
Yeah.
What I'm saying is, you both having the ability. Now watch this. You wake up knowing I'm feeling like trash, but I guarantee she gonna be black and white, head down, ignore me and grind through. You know what you're about to get. My question is, why can't you guys pause even for 30 seconds to say, let me put myself in the black and white position, put myself in the gray position, and let me feel what they're trying to tell me right now. Let me feel the pressure that Bree is under. Let me feel the distance and coldness that my friend is feeling for me. That's the emotional maturity. It doesn't mean you stop grinding. It doesn't mean you don't stop putting out fires. What it means is we don't ruin something great trying to put on a great production or a great event where we lose or we damage or we fracture an amazing relationship.
Yeah. Right.
I think it's a huge difference. The aim has to be horizontal. The things around it are the trimmings. All those things will fade away.
Yeah.
But if you guys don't protect, secure, and put boundaries on your love for one another, you will see events erode what even brought you to the event, called a friendship. If I can sit here and see my best friend crying in tears, you, and that doesn't move me, I've already lost my center.
Right.
It means I've become so mechanical that you as a person no longer matters. I don't think y'all have arrived there. What I'm implying is, if we don't stop this train now, that's exactly where it heads. To where now it's just a transactional relationship.
Yeah.
Versus you a god mom. You see what I mean? So y'all are blood sisters in a sense of covenant sisters. So the question becomes, how can I be there for you when I'm frustrated? And the reason this conversation was so passionate isn't even just because of that event, it's because you guys have not parked other issues in the past. And the emotion from those seep into this conversation as well. And that's understandable. But that's why it's important to have these conversations to say, you know what, let me not bury, and I like the word you use, suppress emotions and feelings and truths that we have. And this is a word I would change. Not that if I made you, or if you feel, I would change it to, because you said this, I believe it.
Yeah.
Bree, because you said you felt like I let you down, I believe what you said.
Yeah.
Crystal, because you said that you feel and believe that I treat this way, I believe it because you said it.
Right.
See, now I'm validating my best friend. I'm letting you know I'm no longer sitting on a perch at a distance from your emotion. I'm letting you know I see you.
Yeah.
I hear what you're saying. I know the impact of it, and I'm going to pivot. And it's the key, even if it costs me something. Because at the end of the day, this is how you got to look at it. The event happened. Let's say it was an 80, a B
Mm-hmm.
of an event. Well, the question becomes, the 20% that could have made it an A, is it worth damaging my friendship for? Because that's what we're talking about. We're talking about the 20%. The event was at least a B. I wasn't there, but it's at least a B, I'm assuming. And it became B plus. So a B plus event, which means we're only what, 12, 10% from an A. So really what we're talking about is the 12% gap that got you from a B plus to an A. The question becomes, how much y'all willing to give up for the 12% to get that A?
What? I'm just kidding. But no, like,
She knows.
no,
She
not playing. But I'll take it with me. But I just, that's a real answer.
Mhm.
But no, like, yeah, like I get that, and I guess I just want to, like moving forward, I want to be able to validate that. Like, I
Mhm.
want to be able to see her
Yeah.
in situations that are abstract that I may not, fully and be aware of the surrounding of it. Like, I want to be able to cover her with the concrete when it's necessary. I want to be able to do all of those things, whether it's business related or not. Like, you know what I'm saying? Because me helping her and her helping me isn't gonna stop.
Yeah,
You know what I'm
I
saying?
do.
Like friendship wise, right?
Mhm,
So even if you take the business aspect away
mhm,
from it, and we're talking about just a pure, like friendship, like I want to be able to do those things. I just don't in the moment. I don't always see that,
mhm.
you know?
And a practical tool you can use that I think that would be of great benefit to both of you is this, because your personality, it appears, and you can correct me if I'm wrong, that you don't want the issue to linger. You want to nip it in the bud and you want to go. Okay. Yours is more of, listen, I got stuff to do that can wait. I'll get around to it, et cetera, et cetera. But this thing got to get done.
Well, and it's more so like control for me,
Oh, I fully understand.
like conversation wise,
Mhm,
because what I don't like is I don't like discussing things when I'm angry, and I don't
mhm,
like discussing things in the heat of the moment all the
mhm,
time, because I'm liable to, I'm not at the point to where, again, like I'm working on suppressing and controlling, and I suppress my emotions versus control them,
mhm,
right? And so I'm not at the point to where I can control it and have a conversation and it be a productive conversation,
mhm.
because when I'm angry or when I'm irritated, when I'm mad, I'm not hearing you right
I
now.
understand.
You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? So in that moment, it's not that I didn't want to talk about it because I didn't want to solve the issue.
Mhm,
It's not that I wanted to go to bed upset with her, or
mhm,
I wanted her to go to bed upset with me. Like none of those things were the outlining of why I chose not to
mhm,
talk about it. It was, I don't want to offend her or affect her any more than I already have.
mhm.
So
I
that
think
was
your
the
issue,
protection.
yeah,
You know what I'm saying? Like 'cause
yeah,
the last thing that I wanted to do was blow up past the situation that was already at
I
hand
get it.
by talking about it.
Yeah.
So I thought saying like, "Hey, I'm okay. I don't want to talk about it right now."
Mhm,
I thought that that was an emotional state, like I mean like a emotional mature statement of saying like I'm not ready for that.
mhm.
You know what I'm
Yeah,
saying?
I do,
Like
but
I'm not ready
I
for that
think
right
that
now.
I do understand, but I think that the grace you give yourself, you haven't given her. For example, you made the comment to her, I'm not ready for that right now, and you wanted her to accept it as the truth. She gave you a comment of, I'm not in the headspace and I'm exhausted and tired, but you had other rebuttals to that.
Right.
So it's not fair to tell her, I'm telling you, I can't talk about this right now, accept that as truth and it shouldn't bother you.
Right.
But on the flip side, you're telling her, if you tell me the truth, it ain't gonna be good enough because you made me a promise. It goes on. What I'm saying is, it go. This is the tool. It's not your what, it's your how in that context. Telling you, hey, listen, I can't talk right now. You should understand that. Mm, well, that content can be true,
Right.
but what would work better, that or this? Based on what just happened, I'm emotionally heightened right now. I don't feel I can give you the best version of myself. And I feel like if we continue the conversation, I may take it to a place that's unhealthy for myself and our relationship. So, right now, although I know this conversation is important, I am not emotionally equipped to have it. I have this timeline I'm under. I must leave and get this done. But I give you my word, when this event is over, when everything, all the dust settles, we can come back and make sure we're good. But I must leave now. See, what I did was I told her the truth without tearing her down
Yeah.
or without being this absolute strict knife of, I can't do it right now, you should understand that, because then the door swings the opposite direction. If she then says, hey, I can't have this conversation right now because, or I can't go to LA, I'm not in the headspace, I'm exhausted, your response going to be, so you promised me. You see what I mean? So either it's good for both or it's not good for both. I think the former is the best option. It's you telling the truth, it's her telling the truth. It's not the what, it's the how. How I present to you not only my successes but failures matter. So the tool for you in this context, and you both in this regard, would be, it doesn't have to happen right now, but it has to happen.
Right.
But how I present the delay makes all the difference.
Mhm.
So I gave you a real life example how you guys can present it to yourselves where I don't damage the relationship, but you definitely got my point
Mhm.
that I am hurt.
Mhm.
I'm not emotionally equipped at the moment to handle this without damaging us. So we must pause it. But I do see you, I do understand, but we have to come back when the dust settles to make a resolve to what I'm feeling because this bothers me. That allows her to have full understanding that you ain't okay. So now when you come back and you're kind of quiet, she's not asking you no more, what's wrong? Are you okay? I put that to bed before I left. I told you when the event ends and all the dust settle, we will come back and have this conversation. The reason she's asking is because she felt the door was still open, right? You did let her know. I can't chop it up right now, but in her mind, well, when you come back, we got to be good. We got an event to run. Not knowing we can be good and I can categorize this frustration. I can put it to the side. I can grind the event out. It's not personal no more. Now it's just business. And this is the key. Let's just get past the day.
Mhm.
Tomorrow, when the dust settle, we can come back, regroup, have this conversation, and put it to bed. But right now, based upon where I am and based upon the ball that was dropped, I can't have that talk right now. That protects you. So now you don't have to lie to yourself. You don't have to pretend like everything's okay. And now she has somewhere to put it. She's not thinking now, are we still friends? Do is she gonna be mad at me forever? Is this gonna jack our relationship? I'm not making this part up.
No.
But the idea becomes I give you the answer on the front end. We're good. I'm just not good with you right now. We will be fine, but we will work it out later. But right now, we have both got to put our heads down and figure this stuff out. So for the rest of the day, let's just get the job done. See, communication, it bridges that gap of conflict. And so that's how I would do it. To where communication, though there is frustration, communication prevents that train from going off the railings.
Can I ask a more precise question?
Mhm.
Um, how would you like me to say those things moving forward? Because there were some times where I was like, I want to, because that was kind of what I wanted to talk about, but I was afraid that you were gonna take that weird, and I didn't want it to go there. You know what I'm
Wait,
saying?
talk about what?
Like anything, like what was going on. That's why I kept like asking you, like, I know you're not fine. Let's talk about this kind of thing. So, like, moving forward, if it's anything, rather clearly not event, but anything, how would you best receive me coming to you in those spaces when you are frustrated?
Um, I think I think that the the approach I don't think your approach was wrong. You know what I'm saying? So like I don't think you saying like, "Hey Bree, like I know that you're upset, like whatever." I don't think that approach is wrong. I think it's me not being able to articulate this is the space that I'm in, if that makes sense. So it's not like you came at the situation crazy and I'm like, I don't want to talk to you because you're coming at the situation crazy. Were you were polite. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like it was like, hey Brie, like, are you I know you're not okay, like let's talk about it. So your approach wasn't wrong, your approach wasn't off. I just was not in that space to talk about it. So you can say it 18 million different ways from A to Z, and I'm never gonna receive it if I'm just not in that space. So
A letter, maybe?
it's a me thing. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like if I'm not in the space, I'm just not in the space. So you can say it, 18 different ways, but I'm just not there. So it's like I have to get to the point to where I'm able to say, hey, you know what? In this space, I'm not there. Like I'm not able to talk to you about it. Like you said, like I'm not able to talk to you about it. Like I still got mad love for you, but right now this is what I'm focusing on, and we can revisit. You know what I'm saying? So it wasn't your approach that was wrong. It wasn't like what you did wasn't wrong. You know what I'm saying? It was the after I said, like, hey, I'm cool. I don't want to talk about it. I really just did not want to talk about it. So the constant questioning, like, well, I know you're not okay. And I know, it made it worse for me because it's like you're like, and I even tried to get in my space. Like I turned my music on and I tried to like level out. But while I'm trying to level out, you're still poking me. Like, hey, let's talk about it. Like, hey, are you sure you're okay?
Did me
Like I know
asking
you're
like
not
more
fine.
questions about the event start making you mad? Because eventually I stopped and I was like, let
Yeah.
me just do
I
this.
I think I think it was just like again, like I think like I was trying to level out and I was trying to have my moment to where like how you had your moment to come down and say, okay, let me get the ball rolling. I didn't get that chance because I
Okay.
was too busy running around, whatever. So when I finally got back and I got that chance, I was sitting, on the floor
Hmm.
with my boxes. I turned my music on and I was in my zone and I was coming down. And I was, like, okay, Bree, like you gotta calm down. Like it's not Crystal's fault. It's this, it's that. Like she got a lot going on. You got a lot going on. Just like level out. But in that process, you just kept asking. And then eventually when you stopped, I was like, okay, like now I can focus on me. Like now I can focus on really, like really trying to like get in there so I can be the best Bree and I can be the best version of me um in this time frame. But then it was just like okay, well then like what about this and what about this? And it's like so I never got that time to myself to
Yeah.
like to do that. You know what I'm saying? Because
Mhm.
when I was trying, it was like, well, what, well, what, well, what? And I was just like, dang, like I'm trying here. Like, you know, like so for
I
me in
got
my
you.
brain,
I was
yeah.
just hypeful
Yeah, and
and
I
I still
get
had so
that.
much energy and I knew there was a bunch of stuff to be
Right.
done. I'm like, she
Right. And
gotta
I
get
get
over
that.
this. Oh, what about this? Is this
But
pretty?
that's and I think like right and I appreciated that, right? But again, I think it's just it's the miscommunication is
Yes.
where the ball was dropped
Yeah.
on you know what I'm saying in our friendship. You know,
Yes.
like forget about the business aspect because that's going to go on. There's going to be plenty of different businesses, and I'm always going to show up frontline for your business. I'm always going to do anything, even if you don't ask, because I'm your friend. You know what I'm saying? Like, and it may not be to the capacity of being involved and
No,
like
no,
right
no, no. Whoa,
beside
whoa, whoa,
you.
whoa,
Like,
whoa,
you know what I'm
let's stop
saying?
that.
Well,
You have a problem with me being a man. I ain't got no problem with you coming to
well,
help.
that's because that's because
You're welcome.
that's because that's because my creativity surpasses yours in those
Yeah,
situations.
your
And
organization
and
skills surpass me.
like and
I
that's the
need you
thing.
to come be
And so
organized
that's the
for
thing
me.
too. So even like even when I'm saying like
The man's
separate the
birthday is
two,
coming up.
like but
No.
so like even when I'm saying like separate the two, I don't want you to feel like you cannot be involved. Like in terms of like you cannot like, hey girl, like I know you did it, but let me just give you some advice. Like I always want your advice. I always want your input. But I think in terms of what I'm saying, like business wise, like it's working side by side. It's like, okay, like you have half the task and I have half the
It's
task.
the
That yes,
accountability aspect.
accountability.
Yeah.
That's not your I don't
Yeah.
want to
Mhm.
hold you accountable for
I
things
don't want to be held
that right
accountable.
right but that's the problem, right? So like that's what I'm saying. So that's the core issue is the
Yeah.
accountability aspect. So when I'm saying like moving forward, I want you to be able to have. I want your input. I love your creativity. I want to be able to use you for the talents that God has given you. I don't ever want to take that away from you, and I don't want you to feel like you can't input that into my life and into my business. If you see me making a mistake, I want you to say something, right? But I'm taking the accountability away from you to where I can't hold you accountable. You know what I'm saying? If the ball drops, I'm not holding Crystal
Yeah. At a
accountable
level
at a
you're not
level.
designed for.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. So I'm not holding you to that level, not saying that you're not a 10. But what I'm saying is like I'm not holding you to this level of
Oh,
Mhm.
accountability that
good
you're
eight
not yeah,
point
that you're not
seven.
designed to be held at. You know, so like
Mhm.
so that's what I'm saying by like business wise.
No,
I'm
I
not
agree.
yeah, like I'm not saying
There's
I
no
don't
puddle here.
yeah, like I'm not saying I don't want your input and I don't want you like involved and if something comes across, don't help me. That's not what I'm saying.
I don't think you understand how much I understand you. Okay, I know those things. My problem here was maybe pushing you, but I get it to the point where I walk on eggshells because I know how you are. Like when the past thing happened, I was like, Jake, we gotta find the past. We have to find it now. I don't have a printer. Just one of your neighbors have printers. She's gonna come, and the past isn't here. She's gonna be picked. They're like, calm down, Crystal.
Right.
She's gonna be okay. No, you guys don't understand.
Mhm.
She's not gonna be okay. If the past isn't here, she's gonna be mad. Everything's gonna be over. Like they're like, Crystal, calm down. I'll just put CC on my thing. We'll figure it out. We gonna work. She gonna be okay. She's not gonna be okay.
But I
She's
was
gonna be
okay.
mad.
And that was
She's
the
gonna be.
thing
But
though.
but that's because that's the energy I had gotten. So I'm like, I'm trying to.
Right. Right. And then
We're
so like
not pissing
even
her off now. One more
but like
time.
even in that situation, it's crazy that you said that because when I came in, like I wasn't upset.
That was why that
Like
was the first thing that Jay said because I had given this
right.
But let me give
flow.
it, but really quick, because this is the perfect moment. Try in this very moment to see, not hear what she just said.
So like
Like not a fix. Just try to see what she actually just said to you in
so
that last little bit.
so in that last little bit, you're saying that when I get upset, like you feel that like you have to walk on eggshells because I'm gonna take it all the way up to the extreme.
Now watch this. Do you believe her when she says that?
Yes,
Okay,
because
now
I know
what
me.
does that mean to you that she just said that to you?
It means that I have to be more cautious in situations with my range of emotions. So whether that's okay, like this situation happened, okay, now breathe, let's think. Do we need to go here with it or like do we need to go here with it? Maybe like not being so extreme, maybe finding like that medium balance, like, okay, boom, that's not what I expected. That's not what I had planned for that situation. But since it's already done, let's try to see what we can do moving forward. You know what I'm saying?
That comment right there, literally, and I was gonna mention this earlier. You just mixed your gift with hers in your comment. You did what she mentioned earlier. And when she was saying, can you add some love to it? That's your comment just did. What you did was you acknowledged the failure. Then you realize we can't fix everything that happened, but what can we salvage? As a leader, that's exactly what you do. You push for 100. And then if it doesn't work out, you do what you just did. You sit there with these people and say, okay, look, that ball dropped. Okay, what can we do now? Forget what happened. How can we fix it? What can we salvage? Cool. And you give line items at that moment to fix with what you have. Why is that? Because you save the team. Otherwise, we destroy the team and the event happens, but we lose all credibility. So you literally just gave yourself the solution. And the same thing works for you. When she's telling you, I understand you're helping me, but you wasted 4 hours, she's actually telling you something. She has a gift mix that you need to rub off on, and vice versa. You need her compassion, she needs your excellence. You need her excellence, rather, and you need her compassion. Those gifts mixed are dangerous. One without the other is horrific. So literally, you guys are the yin and yang of each other. You are the excellence, you are the creative branch. And mind you, if you merge it, you get the best of both worlds. It doesn't mean you become her and vice versa, but it does mean I'm around you this much. I can glean from that. And I can, does that make sense? But what you just said though, literally, that is the answer to a lot of these questions. You just did it in real time. Mind you, all while being your authentic self.
Look at you.
So how do you guys feel now that you guys kind of aired that out and kind of got some tools to move forward?
I I'm happy, like for one, because I think that we have been friends forever, right? So I think we have grown so much. I just think adult issues are way a lot harder than kid issues, right? So like it's easy to grow and get past things when you're younger and like we're our younger selves, because we're still evolving and we're kind of going at the same rate. You
Mhm.
know what I'm saying? And I think once you get to like a certain age and you get to the adult life and life issues, my issues aren't her issues. Her
Mhm.
issues are my issues. So I'm growing in a different speed and a different path and on a different journey than she is. So we used to be growing on the same journey, which allowed us to do things in real time because we're on the same path. So it's like, oh girl, I just did what you just did. So I know, you know what I'm saying?
Mhm.
And we just both experienced the same thing.
Yeah.
But when you are on two different paths and your experiences I don't necessarily get to do, my experiences you don't necessarily get to do, I've grown in areas that you may not have grown in and vice versa. You know what I'm saying? So I think that this was good because I think it allowed me to see things from like your perspective in a way that is actually like beneficial versus seeing things from your perspective just so I can be like, okay, I see you. You are just because, yeah, I get what you're saying, but like, you know what I'm saying? I think this conversation was no, I really do get what you're saying, and because I get what you're saying, now I can articulate the proper way to go about the situation. Like, okay, I understand that you're frustrated because you're not getting your kudos, right? So then it can say like, okay, boom, I do appreciate you. I do thank you. And I do it, da 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 da. Now, what can I do to help you feel? You know what I'm saying? Like, what can I do to support you in this moment? Like, what is it that you need from me? Right. And I think more, what is it that you need from me in these moments are the things that need to happen within our friendship when we do get to those situations. And we don't bump heads a lot. You know what I'm saying? But I think when we do, they're just so explosive because we don't do that.
Yeah.
Like, like we
Yeah.
don't bump heads a lot compared to some people who may always fight and then they have their solutions because they've gone through it so much. We don't really have arguments like that. We may have like little disagreements now and then. It's like, all
We
right,
know how to get
yeah, but
past like
we can get past that.
like, oh, she in a mood, all right, bye.
Yeah, like all right, bye. Like yeah, like she not feeling it today. Okay, bye. And then like you let you let a day go by. Hey girl, how you doing? I'm good. You know what I mean? And then life goes on. But I just think for like the bigger issues when it's more of a importance, I think those are the moments that we don't necessarily know how to get past.
Mhm.
So I think this was like a big eye opener, and that was one of the reasons why I wanted to do it because the first thing that I said this morning, when I had the conversation is I want to do it in love and I want to do it in grace. I said I don't want to have the conversation and I don't I was like, I was like, I know what she's gonna be upset. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, I don't want to hurt her feelings. I don't want her to feel these things. Those are all the things I said this morning. That was the reason why I initiated this, because I wanted to do it with love. I wanted to do it with a solution. I wanted to do it with a set of tools that we could use so we can move forward, so we don't ever have to be in this space again. That's why I seek counsel, you know. So I and that was all because I do love you, and I do, you know what I'm saying? I do value our friendship, sometimes only on Tuesdays. I do value our friendship, and I want to protect it and preserve it as much as possible, because we're not talking about, you know, oh, this is my best friend that everybody always says, oh, I have best friends. Like, no, like for real, like this is my sister, like this is my blood, this is my family. Like I'm not going anywhere. You know what I'm saying? And like our friendship is not going anywhere. So this is not one of those situations to where you could just chuck it up and be like, oh, she'll get over it in 2 months. Let me call her back. Like, no, like you, your kids, your family is embedded in me. My kids, because my kids are your kids, are embedded in you. Like, you know what I'm saying?
He's so confused.
So, like, but you get what I'm saying?
I do.
So there's a lot of value in this. So I wanted to make sure that I was handling it with as much grace and love, and a mediator as possible, because I want a solution, because I don't ever want you to feel the way that you feel, and I don't ever want to feel the way that I feel.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like I there's so many more things that we're coming across moving forward, and I just did not want to be in this space ever again. I don't like being in this space. I don't like the feeling. So I am grateful that now we have tools moving forward, better community, especially for me, and being in the leader position that I am, and as I'm rising in that position, I want to be the best leader that I can be. I want to be the best delegator that I can be. You know what I'm saying? I can't run a successful business and be a lousy leader. It doesn't work that way. So I'm here for like open criticism. I'm here for learning. I'm here for implementing. You know what I'm saying? And I'm here for learning those things so I can implement it into our relationship, so our relationship continues to grow and move forward and not backwards. You know, I don't want to not talk to you for weeks because I'm upset still, or I don't know how to handle it and you don't know how to handle it. So you walk on eggshells. I don't want you to walk on eggshells. You know what I'm saying? I don't want you to walk on eggshells because of my weaknesses, and vice versa. I don't want to walk on eggshells because of your weaknesses. You know what I'm saying? I don't want to do that. I want to be able to recognize the weakness and say, okay, that's a weakness. I get it. I understand. But like, how can I help? Not how can I move so I don't mess up the situation, or how can I move so she doesn't get upset, or how can I move so she doesn't get irritated. That's whack. I don't want that ever to be a thing ever again.
I don't have a lot of irritating bones in my body, praise God. I feel like I released that from myself. But I just want to say I am very grateful for you, because I don't know how this conversation would have ended
Oh,
had
I can
there
tell you.
been a mediator. So, I mean,
I'm
you know what I
glad you
mean?
got
Like,
here.
it,
I can tell you,
I'm
it
glad
was
to be
gonna,
here.
but you know what? It was gonna end the first way that our first conversation did, because we tried to have a conversation after the first event, and it was, we're gonna have to agree to disagree, because I felt one way, she felt another, and we literally agreed to disagree, and we pushed it under the rug, and we kept it pushing. So now it's round two,
Mhm.
and the old stuff is coming back
Yeah.
because it was never resolved.
Yeah.
It was swept under the rug, and it was like, okay, well, we're gonna agree to disagree, because I don't feel like the same situation happened, right? I don't She didn't feel like I was giving her grace. I felt like I didn't have to.
Mhm.
You know, I felt like I didn't have to give you grace for something that you should have already did. You know what I'm saying? And she felt like that wasn't kind, and that
Mhm.
wasn't this. And you know, so that
Bree operates, as we have all figured out, in excellence. So Bree has a standard for me that I don't even want. You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't even
like I
want
want more for her than she wants.
I don't.
You know what I'm
I,
saying,
I
for herself.
literally don't even want to be that
Mhm.
person. I want to be like, here, and I'm cool. There's
Yeah.
peace here.
Mhm.
There's love
Yeah.
here. There's community and people here. I don't want to be that
Yeah.
person. But she's like, you need to be, because we're gonna have so much money over there. I'm like, I feel like I can figure out a way though still, like, and do all
Right.
these things.
And I'm like, no, girl, I see the time for a CEO. She's like, no, I just want to live in the jungle, and I just want to like vibe out. I'm like, girl, you too talented for that. No, but I love it here. And I'm like, okay, cool, whatever.
and,
But
and a lot of it is because I've lived enough life to just want peace, but I'm grateful. You know what I
yeah,
mean? And like you're saying, oh, we'll learn from each other. I learn so much from her all the time.
yeah,
Like, and
facts.
and being, a little bit more of this, a little bit more on it, being more organized. You're right. I should probably get up. You know what I'm saying? You're right. I should probably make sure I plan these. Look at my planning. Look, it's on my calendar. Look at me. Look at me in my notes. Look at that. You see that? You see my notes, Brie? Like, so it's like I know these things are needed to just adult and just be successful in anything, right? So I'm always taking from the people that I need to, but I think the light and the love does come from having somebody that can
For
see what
sure.
we don't see.
Yeah.
So thank you.
100%.
For you, bro, you know I love you. You know what I'm
Yeah,
saying?
for sure. It's always love.
And like I said, I'm just happy that this conversation happened the way that it did because I know us. And that was part of the reason why. Because as soon as you said you wanted to talk, I was like, thank God, because I wanted to talk. And I was like, Mom, I don't know what to do. I've been talking to my mom because I was up there crying with her stuff. She's like, "Are things better?" I was like, "No, they're not." My emotional, but I just didn't know, and it's like I know that if I would have fought fire with fire, it just would have been fire.
Yeah, absolutely.
If I said anything to her in those moments, I would just would have, because Bree's not gonna stop that. If she's gonna go, but like, well, forget it, and you want to fight, she would have been like, yes, and we would have just been fighting. And the whole event would have been crazy. Like, there's no way she would have said no. Like, it just would have went there. So I'm grateful for just growth all around and just understanding of who we are at our core. And I'm happy that our core is embedded in love at the end of the day, and being able to move back to that place is just beautiful. We laughed before you got here, and I was like, oh, she laughed with me. Maybe she's not that mad.
I laughed at a pity.
And I took it. I was like, oh,
I laughed at a pity. So she want to be alone?
okay. We're okay.
Joke was corny.
My jokes be funny as hell. Comedian.
Yeah, but that's what I'm talking about though. Like the core of us is never gonna change, right? And so like I I don't want situations to try to
People
affect the
suck.
yeah,
And the devil
like
sucks.
to
And
to
people
affect
and
the
the
core
devil
of
be trying to mess
things.
stuff up.
Yeah. So I'm very grateful. I'm very grateful to have you, and I'm very grateful for your mediation, and I'm very grateful for the light that it shed. Like it allows us to sit back, like you said, and get off of our pedestals and say, like, oh hey, okay, hey, I am sitting here, but she's sitting here.
Yeah.
So how can I meet her halfway?
There you
How
go.
can I see, how can I meet her off her throne? How can she meet me off my throne? And how can we come and meet in the middle
Yeah.
and just do life? Because we're
Yeah.
gonna have to do life,
Mhm.
situations are gonna come up again, it's life. Things
Yeah.
are going to happen, and so now I feel like we have the necessary tools to move forward in the right way, right?
Thank you
Like,
for your heart and even doing that because I didn't know you was gonna do that. This was me, pooping bricks before this even happened, not knowing how this conversation was go because I knew how to talk to you. So the fact that you did go and seek godly counsel and want to do that, that does mean a lot and that does show a lot, and I appreciate that because, like I said, I didn't know how this was gonna.
well, thank
So
you.
the fact that you did be like, you know what, let's do this right.
Yeah, for sure. And yeah, so like I said, now we have the necessary tools, we can move forward. And I think that's what I really wanted to take away from this is like I really wanted some tools and some things to be able to help us, but then also like you were talking about like earlier in today's like sermon, like constructive criticism. And I know that when you're in this space, even if I told her something constructive, it wasn't going to be received. And even if she told me something constructive, it wasn't going to be received
Yeah.
just because of the spaces that we were in.
Absolutely.
And so, like, I wanted somebody to be able to give that constructive criticism who was not involved. You know what I'm saying?
Absolutely.
To say, like,
Yeah.
hey, no, yeah, like you were kind of wrong. Like, you know what I'm saying? And hey, like, yeah, you were right, but like you could have handled this better.
Yeah.
Because coming from her in that space, I wasn't going to receive it off top. But that's why I woke up and I said, you know what, let me
Counselors are
yeah,
important.
like let me do this the right way. You
Absolutely.
know what I'm saying? Like let me talk to my sister the right way, because the last thing that I wanted to do was have a conversation and it be a part two of the last conversation of, well, we're just going to agree to disagree.
Yeah.
And keep having those agree to disagree moments until the volcano finally blows up. And it's like, well, now we're talking about things that happened 5 years ago.
There you go.
You know what I'm saying?
Mhm.
And like that's ridiculous because we have too much wisdom and we're too smart for that. You know what I'm saying? And so that was one of the reasons why I wanted to do it.
Yeah, and then to me, I think a simple tool, and now let you guys enjoy your later evening, is
Mhm.
whenever there is constructive criticism, try to have it on sunny days, meaning where there's peacetime. Because in times of the storm, all you can hear is the rain.
Mm,
So when you have hard conversations, when everything is going well, you can hear it.
yeah,
But when you try to have that conversation in the midst of a storm issue problem, you can never hear what's going on. All you see is the storm.
especially if you're not used to it.
There you go. So the goal is to where any type of conversation that is meaty, let the person know, hey, we're good, but I want to get ahead of this thing.
Yeah.
So while we're good, can we have this conversation offline? Let me know when you're available, and always add this: I would like to talk about dot dot dot. Never just leave it as I want to talk to you about something and just leave it.
Because that's exactly what I did.
Right? Always fill in
I
that
did.
blank. Yeah.
Oh yeah, I did.
Yeah.
I just said,
Yeah.
and then what's crazy too is like it didn't dawn on me. And I automatically assumed like we were on the same page. Like it didn't dawn on me that when like we were like setting up and I was like, okay, like how does everything, how does this go? Like it didn't dawn on me that I never told her.
Mm-hmm.
Like I mean, I assumed when I told her, "Hey, like, when you're done," like, last night, I was like, "Hey, when you're done with everything tonight, I would like to sit down and talk to you." I
Mm-hmm.
just automatically assumed that she knew that it was going to be about the events that rolled by.
Yeah.
Like, it didn't dawn on me until we sat down. It's like, I never
Mm-hmm.
really said, like, "Hey, I wanted to talk to you about the event. I want to talk to you about how everything translated." Like,
Mm-hmm.
it didn't hit me until we sat
Yeah.
down and I was like, "Oh, like, if she wasn't smart, she would have been blindsided."
Absolutely.
You know what I'm saying? Like if
Absolutely.
yeah, like if she wasn't like a smart
Mm-hmm.
cookie and like I
Yep.
and I didn't know her enough. Like I knew when I said I wanted to talk, I knew she knew what I was talking about
Mm-hmm.
because she was like, yes, absolutely, right? So I automatically knew that. But again, like knowing and actually saying it is two different things. So when I
Absolutely.
sat down and we sat down here, I was like, lucky, like in my brain, I'm like, well, thank God she's smart because this would have been a whole blindsided conversation.
Huge.
And then it would have caught her off guard. And then, you know what I'm saying? And then it would have been a whole different
It makes it
story.
harder.
And it makes it so much harder.
There you go.
So I'm definitely grateful for her being smart enough to figure it out
Yeah.
because that would have been all bad. And then I really would have felt bad
Yeah. Absolutely.
for like blindsiding her.
Yeah.
Not blindsided, happy we had it.
Yeah, for sure.
Mm-hmm.
So now we can go
Yeah.
tell mom we're okay.
Now we gotta send my taxes so we can afford this.
Yeah.
It seems expensive.
So maybe now she'll let me sleep here tonight and then we'll
Wow.
be
All that. Well, thank you guys for your time. Thank you for a great conversation. This is my Combo 360. This is the Life Coaching Edition. Take care.
thank you.